This is Nick Brannigan, and you are listening to the Happy Earth Market Podcast. I don't have to join Scientology to drink that, do I?
Maybe.
I can't wait to hear where these conversations go tonight. Yeah.
How's your work ethic?
Yeah. Come here, I have to show you this video real quick.
What's that little test that they do?
Thank you so much.
They make you hold these two sticks. And
Yeah, that's the ion test.
Oh, I did that before.
one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
wow.
hilarious.
Well, this is already good. I'm keeping it. Let's just introduce ourselves.
Yeah. I'm Sam.
I'm Nathan,
I'm JR.
and at the table we have
Nick Brannigan.
Nick Brannigan. Who do you represent, if you want to say that?
The Church of Scientology.
Oh, awesome! Wow. Now we're screwed for sure. Tom
Yeah.
Cruise is gonna come get us.
He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, I didn't know that. You and Tom are
Good
besties.
friend.
I had no idea.
Good now.
I better not fuck with you. This will be a very polite conversation.
This being Happy Earth Market Podcast you're
Yes.
listening to.
Happy Earth Market podcast. We need a jingle, like you said.
Yeah, that's going out. FYI, guys who are listening and girls, we are in the look for a jingle before this podcast episode. As you know, we don't have any thing. I mean, we put up our video that's stolen from the internet. We just got this ton discussing how that's illegal and stuff, and a pain in the butt to keep up with. So let's come up with our own stuff. Collaborate. Let's
Can we do like a
create
death
something.
metal version? Happy Earth Market.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking, with all the different talents that show up for our open mics here at Happy Earth Market, 900 Karen Avenue, Suite D102.
We have an address.
Yeah, we do.
East.
Plugging the business is strange on the podcast.
It is
anyway,
odd, right?
Never done that before. Felt weird. Anyway, yeah, that's every Friday, and I think all the artists that are coming on stage and doing their little performings and writing, oh my gosh, and the ciphering, I know what that means.
Yeah, you learned a new word.
I even know how to do it, sort of.
Bumblebee.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're going to be invited to the BET Awards Cypher. Like, oh, it's Sam up there.
But for reals, guys,
way.
we need to come up with something. Let's
And you don't even have to be
do
that
it.
good to be on the BET Cypher.
No, apparently not. Apparently you can just mumble rap now.
Oh, you get those machines that do it for you. The
auto-
robot
the
machine
auto
thing.
tunes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
your
Yeah.
T-Pain microphone?
Anybody can use those.
T-Pain microphone.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so that call out's out there, guys. So
Yeah, we need a jingle.
Yeah, let's talk about it on open mic. Let's talk about it, bring it up.
Mhm.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So with that, Nick.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Brother Nick.
Happy to be here. I'm happy to be here early in 2018.
Yeah, totally. You're a first guest of 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
I think that's very fitting.
And you, I wanted to have a solid guest for this one because we were supposed to, and that got pushed out a couple weeks. We were supposed to have the chief of the Western Shoshone tribe on tonight. So to me, that's the chief, like the guy. And so I'm like, oh, I need somebody else with really good caliber. So I'm really happy you decided to take
I'm
this.
honored. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. We've known you for a long time.
Yeah. When did we meet you?
2013.
Whoa.
Did you look it up before
No,
coming here?
was it? Well, no, I was dating the.
So confident.
No, was it 2013? 'Cause I was the first March Against
Hard
Monsanto
time.
was 2013, but I forgot that I met you guys before.
Yeah.
I met everybody else.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Before the GMO-free Vegas group,
Oh,
like
yeah,
we were
yeah.
already talking.
GMO-free Nevada.
That's
is
right.
Who was it? It was
Us,
through
Nick, and
Kiki,
and Nikki.
Corbin.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think she introduced us, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, Kiki, that's right. I forgot all about that name. We had to separate
Because
from
we
that.
started it.
Yeah.
It was me,
Oh,
you,
yeah.
and Nikki, and
Kiki.
Kiki wasn't there at the first meet.
Oh, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't physically there with us. There was somebody else here with us, and I don't remember who.
Yeah.
But-
A couple people not around anymore.
Yeah.
No.
But you actually called into my radio show
Mhm.
back when it was like still a baby.
That's right.
I
That was
forgot
your
about
radio
that.
show?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
about that.
She was so nervous. That was the funniest. Her palms were sweating. And she was so, what am I going to say? I'm like, Sam, just talk about this.
Dude, and then Grow Your Own, Zen Honeycutt sitting there interviewing me. I'm like, holy shit. Oh, wow, how time changed and growth has happened.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it was
very
like,
cool.
what was the lady
Yeah.
up north that we were working with?
Kiki.
Was the lady, that was the lady from
Yeah.
Reno?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kiki
Oh, okay,
Corbin.
then I'm not thinking of the same person we had to cut ties with. She's still super cool. It was there was some
I know
lady
who
here.
you're
There's
talking
some
about.
lady here in town, but yeah, and you like volunteered to do it. She's like, you want to be the secretary of Southern Nevada? You're like, sure.
Yeah, it was weird. It was fun though. I'm glad I did it though, because wow. you know, going through that,
Mm-hmm.
being a part of something that was bigger than me, that was trying to do something that I was on board with, was like, cool. I've never done that before.
Yeah.
Let's try it. You know, I got some free time. Sure, I'll
Yeah.
volunteer some hours and try
Because you
this.
believed in it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I believed in it because I was living it. My
Yeah,
son
totally.
was healed with
Yeah.
organic food. I mean, it
Go
was
figure.
like, you know, this people have to know about this.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's important to know about
From
it.
7
so-
allergy medicines to 0 with
Yeah.
just organic food.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Well, no, it's
No,
believable.
not, but it
Yeah.
is unbelievable, right? I mean, when at the time it was like, I can't believe this is it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
know?
it's the food?
Yeah.
Yeah, all those pesticides and herbicides, they're messing up people's system. Who would have
To-
thought?
Totally.
Like, wow.
Well, I didn't even know.
Right.
That's
Didn't
the
see
thing.
that coming.
You remember that? Remember when we all first started and people were like, "What's GMO?" Like
Yeah.
nobody knew.
People were clueless.
I
Your
was-
pamphlet, dude, that PDF you made. I still
Which
have
one?
it.
Oh, the ebook?
Yeah.
Oh, can you send that to me?
Yeah, I still have it somewhere. I'll find it. Yeah.
That was the first thing I ever did.
What was it?
It was
It
beautiful.
was called I'm Eating What,
Mm-hmm.
and it just broke down the basics of GMOs.
Oh.
And I think most of it is pretty relevant today
It
for the
still
most
is,
part.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it was really simple and easy facts, and
Yeah,
it
not
was
too much
nice.
has changed. Like little things have changed, but
Like what?
the potatoes and apples where they silence genes now
Mhm.
versus actually putting foreign DNA in them.
Okay.
So it's been, the progress is far, like GMOs are still in the market,
Mhm.
but the awareness and the stopping of more GMOs for the most part has kind of there's been an effect in a positive
Absolutely.
way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
I would call it an accomplishment.
Mhm.
I think so, because it affected change, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not doing it the same.
No.
That affected.
From no
you know,
organic
it's
food
cool.
everywhere.
It's really
Sure.
cool.
From no organic food anywhere to, like you said, orange juice in 7-Eleven.
It blows my mind, man.
Yeah.
And I use that as an example because we have so many 7-Elevens. But the fact that you can go to 7-Eleven and you go into their little cooler and you can see a 7-Eleven branded
Organic
Label.
Oh, it's their own brand.
Yeah,
USDA
crazy, right?
Oh, that is.
orange and
yeah.
apple juice
Mhm.
and other snacks, and I'm just like, that is change.
So what?
That is
For sure.
change. You know, that's in low income neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's an all-income neighborhood.
You know what I mean? And that's the whole point, is getting this food, you know, getting it to the people who need it, which is everybody, not just the rich, but all of us.
All of us,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That's the
and-
goal.
Yeah. So
So what got you into the GMO movement in the first
Tell
place?
us.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Let me think.
start at the beginning, because it's a long story, I'm sure.
Yeah, the very beginning was being about 27 years of age, being a bit overweight, knowing 30 was coming up, and I wanted to be healthy by 30. So it just kind of came into research when I started researching how to be fit, how to be healthy. No, that's a lie. Never mind. Let me rewind a little bit. So it came up in that same time period. I was actually working a security job, graveyard shift, and I was in this little booth, like letting cars come through. And I used to listen to Coast AM and Rents Radio, Jeff Rents, and they both had Jeffrey Smith on as guest at the same night. I think one of the shows was a day late. So I started listening, you know, just paying attention to what he talked about, and he was saying, you know, there's this GMO, it's a problem. What's going on? Real quick, what's the language policy on this show?
This is completely uncensored.
Okay.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Whatever you want to say, dude.
Okay.
Literally anything you want.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cool.
cunt. Okay.
Too far. Never mind. You gotta
Glad
go.
that's out of the way.
I would have had a headache if I didn't get
Accept
that out.
that word.
Yes, I heard Jeffrey Smith on the radio, and I really paid attention to the ingredients. He was saying corn, soy, canola. So at this point, I already switched my thinking towards let's be healthier. So I would start buying my food. I think I shopped at Walmart at the time. And I would like, what? Corn, soy, canola. Okay. Let me look at this item. Corn, soy. Like, this shit's in everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter was about 1 at the time, maybe 1 going on 2. So I started paying attention, but I did my own research. And I actually started reading scientific studies, like something I never would have done before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was always the comparison. It was the, you know, the animal, and I'm clearly against animal testing or whatever. But you know, the rats or whoever they were feeding were being fed GMO corn and soy versus non-GMO corn and soy. There's always issues with the GMO group. So I said, okay, there's something to it.
Right.
And I just kind of kept up on the research and finally started picking up packages. And I did it one ingredient at a time. So I was like, okay, this month no more high fructose corn syrup. Then the next month it was nothing with soy in it, and the next month it was nothing with any other corn
So you
product.
did like a phased approach.
Yeah. slowly but surely phase it out. And I went vegetarian at the same time as well.
Right.
And next thing I know, I went from I was 200 pounds and got all the way down to 140.
Oh wow, that's skinny for you.
Yeah, I look like a crackhead, but I was happy.
Yeah.
The last 5 pounds was
Crackheads are
colonic.
typically pretty happy. I mean, you may not
They
know
are.
it from, but
You get to smoke crack all day. Yeah, of course you're happy.
It's a great weight loss program.
Yeah. You can lose a lot of weight doing crack.
Next to AIDS.
That's not the program I recommend, though.
I'm just laughing that he slipped in the last 5 were colonic. That's funny.
It was true. I literally weighed myself. I was 145. I got a colonic. I was 140. I went to work
Crazy.
that night.
That's
I
a
think
lot
I
of
was-
weight.
Yeah.
You think about that.
It's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of
60,
Oh, yeah.
60 pounds, right? And
Yeah, and I
then
was-
5 pounds of shit at the end.
I was at work all night holding up my belt. I had to go buy a new belt that night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts to see all that weight come off. And then over time, I gained it all back. But then even recently, I
Not
was
all of it. You're
well,
not.
even recently I was 200 pounds. And
Okay,
then,
but you look healthy still, though.
Wow.
well, I'm 175 now.
Okay.
To save money, I started eating mostly. So I think I probably ate 60% or so healthy, then another 40% processed food, and I changed it to almost all whole foods from scratch. And then I didn't look in the mirror and think I was losing weight, but people started saying, "Bang, you're getting skinny. What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then I weighed myself, and I was like, "Oh, I lost about 25 pounds."
Oh wow, that's
Just from
significant.
eating probably 80-90% whole foods from
Wow.
scratch.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was the beginning of the story. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I'm just curious. So what got you into the movement then? Like so obviously you're not like, oh, there's just GMO thing, and now I'm in the movement. What got you into the movement?
Man, I just felt like Jeffrey Smith always said, like, he's like, we need you. We need you. We can't do everything. Like, we're doing the best we can, but we need you. And I had to hear it like so many times
Yes.
Right.
before I was like, man, maybe I should do something. I got a little girl. Like, is it cool that I'm changing our diets, but I'm not really doing anything? And that's where that ebook came from. Because I wanted to write this whole book on it, but like, what would I know about writing a book? Back then, at least.
Well, that ebook helped me.
Oh wow.
Good.
Like,
Glad
no,
to hear.
because that night we had that meeting with the GMO Nevada group. You said, here's the ebook. You sent it to me that night or the next day or whatever, and I read it and I was like, oh, click, click. Like literally, that's what the click was. It just made sense what was happening, and because the way you wrote it was very clicky. I don't know what the right word is, but it clicked.
Yeah, well, I wrote it like I wanted to get it printed out like as a pamphlet because originally like that was the idea, write a book. But I know most of the people I know at the time, like, hey, here's a book, it's 200 pages. I'll get right on that.
When I
Yeah,
have
sure,
time
buddy.
after adulting and building things.
In my Facebook break.
Yeah, so I wrote something smaller that anyone could understand, and I
Right.
started calling all
That's
these
good.
organic food companies, like trying to get money to print them out, and
Oh wow.
no one was really interested. And this is the time too when they were doing the what the hell was it called, the Prop 37?
Oh
in
yeah,
California.
it's in
Yeah.
California to get the food labeled.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first bill
I
to
remember
get
that.
GMOs labeled.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so a lot of money was going towards that. So I was like, well, I'll just put it as an ebook, and whoever reads it, reads it. And I got
Yeah.
the domain at the time, imeatingwhat.com. And I don't know how many downloads it got, but the feedback was good.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
Feedback was very encouraging.
Yeah. Well, it was good because it was small.
Yeah.
Easy, quick read.
Yeah,
That
especially
clicks,
for
you know?
newbies, yeah.
Cool.
Especially for people like for you and for I who needed a quick bit of information to spark our interest.
To
spark our interest.
start on your research, because that was the whole thing, and that's with anybody. You can't really trust or really believe anything unless it's unless you can trust that person. But
Yeah,
you got to do your own research with all of it, and that's
absolutely.
damn it, it's a lot of work. But that's what's cool about it. Goes with any movement. GMOs. We did all the work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Figured
You
out
know-
the information, knew how to get it out there, and now it's just common knowledge and easy to teach.
When it's all written
Yeah,
down,
exactly.
when it's all written down, it's all said and done. I honestly think that the GMO movement is responsible for all the tidal wave of social change we have now, because you have the vegan movement and you have people just eating better all the time, and that once that spark starts, it just starts this tidal wave within everybody I've ever met. There's just this tidal wave of change. Once you make that one small change in your food, you realize that then plastic, and then it just goes on and on and on about
Well,
the
and
things
just
that you
life-
want to change.
Just life in general changes.
And the GMO movement changed the face of the country. because now I mean I feel like we won. We did all that hard work, and now there is organic options in every single store, and people know what GMOs are, and they know.
Right.
It was the coolest thing. We were at
Education.
Sprouts a couple weeks ago, and there's like 14-year-old girl explaining to her dad what the GMO-free label means and what all the different labels mean, and I had to stop and compliment the daughter because
you did.
it's like,
That's
hey,
cool.
you got a very smart girl. Please listen to her because she really sounds like she knows what she's talking about. It was a cool thing.
Yeah, teaching her dad how to eat food.
How to eat food and how to
It's
read
rad. It
how
was
to read
cool
the
to hear
labels
it.
because ingredients are more important than calories.
Absolutely.
Do you guys remember the first time you walked into an conventional grocery store and saw something organic?
Yeah, I do.
Or non-GMO?
I
Yeah.
remember.
we flipped out.
It's
Yeah.
a very vivid moment.
Yeah.
Memory
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
It is for me too. Like,
Mhm.
you mean
We did it.
You mean I don't have to drive,
Yeah.
20 minutes down the freeway to go to Whole Foods?
To Whole Foods, which we couldn't
that
afford.
has like 500% markup on
We
everything.
couldn't afford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Crazy expensive, and it's
Mhm.
like now I can just go down the street to Smith's and get
I didn't.
it.
I mean,
Or
I didn't
what?
even know what grass-fed or free range or any of that stuff was. I had no idea what a factory farm was before any of this. You know what I mean? But now you know
Crazy,
that
right?
factory farm is a common word now. Everybody knows what a
Yeah.
factory farm is. You know,
Right.
and just by that, and that's what really made me like Jeffrey Smith, because he talked about tangible evidence and the 3% shift and all those things. The 3%. I'm like, oh, this guy really has thought about this movement and formulated a plan. And
How
when
to
I
change
watched
the market.
Genetic Roulette, that's what changed my mind. I'm like, oh shit, like it's true. Like it felt really true, and I went and looked up myself. I'm like, oh wow, this is crazy. Like this is crazy. And the gut thing.
Biome?
But yeah,
Microbiome?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can't believe it. Just watching these insects explode, and clearly that's what's gonna happen to your gut.
Sure.
Silly goose.
Yeah.
Sorry, I digress.
No, it's all, it's the topic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. GMOs.
So you start with that ebook, and then what? Like,
I reached out to, and I got to reach out to her again. I haven't talked to her in years. Marilyn Yamamoto from the Cowboy Trail Farm.
Okay.
Organic edibles on social media. Is she still doing that? Does anybody
think
know?
so.
don't know. I haven't
I
seen her in a
think she
long
is.
time.
Yeah, we lost contact. But anyway, I had a video camera I was borrowing at the time, and I just reached out to her and said, "Hey, can I come and film your organic farm? Like, can you give me a tour?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." So I went down there, and she had like this hothouse with mangoes and bananas growing in it.
Oh,
and
cool.
She just showed me all of her stuff, and it was pretty cool. And then a couple months later, she said, "Hey, I want to sponsor a talk for you. I want to set up a talk at the library. You come down and talk about GMOs."
Cool.
That would have been May of 2012.
Okay.
And I did it, and I remember like how nervous I was, and
I'll bet.
and I'd done public speaking before. I used to be, funny story. Let's go full circle. I used to be a professional wrestler, and
What?
Right here, probably in this square.
no, but a guy that I worked with is wrestling there tomorrow.
Hey.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it down to see him. His name's he goes by Robbie E. He was Rob Echoes. We wrestled together. I was from Delaware. He was from Jersey.
He's on that flyer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped by and gave us flyers.
Yeah.
That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, his Robbie E is on there. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's a really cool, like, he was 19 when I met him. I was like 20 or 21. And so the point is, I did public speaking before through wrestling, but that was,
That's hilarity.
That's
playing
an
a
act.
character,
Yeah.
calling people trailer trash.
Oh, yeah.
And
What was your stage name?
Nick Malachi.
Nick Malachi. Why is that?
Because I wanted to have an Irish name, and
Okay.
I loved Children of the Corn as a kid.
Okay, got it.
So,
Okay, yeah.
funny enough,
Did you?
Children of the Corn, we're talking about
Did,
GMOs.
what was
That's
your,
funny.
did you have
Right.
makeup or no?
No, but I had the Speedos on.
Oh no.
The white wrestling boots, yeah. And that's when I had hair with
Is
a
there
really bad
picture of
hairline.
this? That would be a great picture.
Can I use the picture for the cover of this podcast?
There's a picture of it
Yes.
somewhere. Well, not if you want people to listen to it. But, I have a picture somewhere on my computer, maybe
That's
2
funny.
or 3 of them.
That's hilarious.
And and I actually have another friend. He wrestles over there. He's vegan.
Okay,
You
cool.
couldn't tell by seeing him. He's
Yeah.
big.
I love it.
Yeah, but anyhow, so that was my experience speaking in front of crowds before, and so but I was still nervous. I just had my notes. I didn't think the talk was that good, but the feedback I got was great. So I just kind of kept up with it and probably gave, I don't know, maybe 10 to 12 talks over the course of over a year and a half or 2 years, and that led to the radio show, which this guy. Do you guys know who Danny Vegas is?
Heard of him?
Yeah, I don't know him though.
Danny Vegas.
Yeah, he's a marketing guy. He has shows down at runs a studio at Gene Wood's Racing Experience. So he had a radio show.
Oh
at the
yes, I
time.
do know him. Yes.
Yeah, really cool guy. We go way back. I met him at the Health Healing Happiness event.
Oh, cool.
That's where I met the Scientology. Maybe we'll get to that. We'll get to that story later. But like I saw, he was. We were at some event and we were talking, and he kept telling me about his radio show, and I was like, man, I really like to give that a try.
Mm-hmm.
And ended up doing Health Conspiracy Radio December of. And actually, we'll rewind a little bit. My friend wanted to do a show with me. So we did one out of his house. We just did like 3 or 4 of them, but that kind of got the bug going.
Right.
Usually how it starts.
Yeah. And then so I did start a Health Conspiracy Radio in December 2012, and just kind of kept going from there.
Yeah, and keep getting guests on that are teaching you more and more, and you're just getting...
Yeah, that's the great thing, especially, like, makes me really happy for you guys that you're doing this, is the connections you're going to make are going to be, like,
absolutely.
just priceless.
I agree.
Like, that's how I ended up interviewing Jeffrey Smith 2 or 3 times. I met him in person.
Amazing.
Interviewed, do you guys know who David Icke is?
No.
He's big conspiracy guy. I interviewed him. I actually I'm probably going to try to interview him again soon. I just haven't reached out to him
rad.
yet. Yeah, and...
Is it live, or do you do it via telephone?
I'm working on to do a video now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I haven't done it for a while. I did a test episode in a couple months back for a different type of show. It's just so much. The workload is too much.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's why I've
A lot
never
of
messed with
editing.
it. I've never messed with it because I tried once to do the video editing with the podcast, especially if it's not synced right and all those things. I just don't want to mess with it. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yep.
You got to slowly build up to that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not playing
It
with
starts
it.
looking like a bad Chinese movie.
Yeah. But I'm going to do something live. I have been challenged to do 30 days of live podcasting.
Wow.
So I'm going to do it, just when I'm going to start, and it may just be quick updates on my podcast Facebook page. I don't know what it looks like yet, but I'm going to do it. But once I start, I don't want to give up. So
Yeah.
So here we go.
It sounds hard.
It does sound hard. Yeah, nobody wants. I have guests, so I just get to sit here and listen to them, So.
Pretty much.
So we're gonna have to find.
So then, when was the first March Against Monsanto? What year was that?
That was 2013.
2013. That was amazing. I couldn't believe that we pulled that off. And I say we, because all I did was hand out flyers. But
yeah, we were all working, man.
Yeah,
to
it was
get that
huge.
That was fun. Gosh, it was fun.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed with just how many people were there.
Yeah.
Me too.
It was just like a lonely space for a while. It was just us.
It was just
and
us.
the 25, 30 people that would come hear me speak, and that was it.
We would be at First Friday, and I had people curse me out at First Friday.
Really?
I'm like, why? Why are you so upset? Yeah, I don't remember why. I mean, they were probably just crazy.
When you're
drunk
handing out
people.
flyers, you mean?
Handing out flyers, because we would hang out with Nikki right by her little First Friday spot, and we would just hand out flyers, hand out flyers, and talk to people, and hand out flyers, and talk to people, and hand out flyers, and talk to people. And there were some pissy people. I remember people getting mad at us.
People would get mad and argue. We're humans. We're supposed to eat meat, and we're science. You have to trust science.
Yeah, trust
and
science
all this stuff. And I was like, you have no idea what you're saying.
It's too expensive.
You
that
have
was
no
the big
idea what
argument.
you're
That's
saying. You're speaking what society's been teaching you this whole time, so that you can keep buying their crap that's killing you. Stop it and hear me for a minute.
It's too expensive.
So angry.
That was the angry.
People just get angry. I forgot about them. Yeah. Oh,
well, because it was so much fun, I didn't care. But
I bet a lot of them are organics now. So
Yeah.
Funny how that shit works.
In your
right?
face.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Where, especially with the vegan thing, you'll see someone post an update from 3 years ago, like I'll eat my steak if I want, and then they'll post their most recent update
Nice
about
to grow.
It's
nice
about
to
how much they
grow.
love being plant based and the respect that they have for the animals. It's crazy to think
It's
about.
nice to grow, right? And that's the whole thing too. The whole thing is everybody's on the path. We are all on the path.
Absolutely.
We're just all at different speeds, and some of us have been doing it for 12, 14, 30, 50 years, whatever,
Well,
And
that's the thing too.
it's
People.
just now, like, we're like, yeah, I just started, and they're like, oh, fucking big deal. I've been doing it my whole life.
Yeah.
Before you were born, kid, and I'm old. So that, it's humbling when that happens, because then you're like, okay.
People think it's an overnight process too. People think that you
Yeah.
just decide, oh, I'm going to
Yeah.
be vegan or I'm going to be vegetarian or whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't see the process that it took to get you here. You know what I mean? And there's a long process that people go through, and it takes time to come off the grid. It takes time to do all those things, and then there's a lot of fallback. Like oh, I made it 35 days without eating any meat, and then you have a sandwich. You know what I mean? Like it just takes time, and just keep trying. You know?
And it's especially hard with some people who are in society that are obligated to perform for their job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I swear to God, that used to get in the way all the time of my ethics, my moral ethics, just my job, just being there.
Do you have a reptilian in your shirt?
Oh, yeah,
she's a
that's
Holy
dragon.
shit.
It's Bobby.
She's a
It's
dragon.
Bobby.
It's like, why did your shirt move?
Yeah, meet Bobby.
My tumor.
It's not the
Has a mind of
tumor.
its own. She's scratching the hell out of me.
She wants out. You can let her down.
I don't want to let her down because she's going to...
Walk.
Anyway, so... Well, she's cold and freaking out.
Oh, okay. It's just trying to get warmer. Anyways, where were we? Oh, the first march against Monsanto. Because I was like, that was the first one with the GMO chef, right? Or what the...
Oh, yeah. What was his name? Robert Blanks?
Yeah, that guy was really... His speech was really good, and your speech was really good. Like, your speech really moved me. I was like, oh, man,
thank you.
that was amazing. Yeah, it was really motivating. And then I just remember that whole day because we showed up early to help, what's her name? Angie. We helped Angie set up her table and get there early, make sure everything was set up. And so I'm setting up her table. She's dealing with the police, telling me what's going on. And when I look up, there's probably 1,500 people. I'm not even exaggerating. I was like, oh shit! And I can't find my wife. And there's my brother-in-law smoking. So my wife's near there somewhere. It was crazy. And I just remember walking and looking back, and from basically Russell to the Las Vegas Boulevard sign was full of people.
It was jam-packed.
It was
The whole time.
unbelievable.
Yeah, we took up the lane, the slow lane.
The slow
and
lane,
everything.
yeah.
So neat.
Oh, man.
Cool. Just a big Red Sea.
Yeah, it was great. Everybody's in
sure.
red shirts, and
That's cool.
I got a tattoo that day.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I told my brother-in-law if you go get a tattoo, I'll pay for it. And so we were there, and it was the cheesiest Boulder Highway tattoo shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and there was 2 for 1 tattoos. So I'm like, screw it, I'll get some silly tattoo on my leg. So I did.
I
That's
see you
right.
got a tattoo there, Nick. What is that?
I do. I have 2.
Ooh.
Well, 3 technically.
Are those new?
My vegan one.
Oh,
No, this one's probably 2, going on 3 years old. This one
Okay.
is... No, this one's 2 years
Is
old
that
as
roots?
well. Yeah, that's a ayahuasca vine.
Oh, wow, that's
okay.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah, wow.
very
And I
neat.
got my daughter's face on my leg from when she was 6 months old.
That's cool.
I'm
I
not laughing
like
at that. I have my son's face there too. It's not good.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny when I see the word vegan, I always think a Las Vegan.
Oh, I get that all the time. A lady saw it, cashier at Sprouts. She said, "Oh, I get it. You're from Vegas and your roots are there." So she was like, "Vegas roots."
Oh, that makes sense.
You know, it's
I said, "That's the best guess I've heard so far."
that could be a universal tattoo, really. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. I like
Yeah,
the roots.
thank you.
It's pretty ayahuasca, huh? So what's that like?
Oh, it is. It's life changing for
Is
sure.
it? Can you talk about it? You wanna
Yeah.
talk about it?
It's my only problem is
You can't explain it.
You forget a lot as
Yeah.
time goes on. It gets kind of sad because what year is it now? 2018, so 2015, I think. I'm so okay. I have such a weird concept of time.
It's
but,
cool.
Yeah, 2015.
Time doesn't matter, man. It's only right
it
now.
doesn't. Yeah, it's right
Present.
now, and we're here.
That's it.
Everything else is just moonshine.
That's
Yeah, so I did 9 ceremonies in about 6-month period.
Wow.
So I've journeyed on 7 of them, which means 2 of them I drank the medicine, it didn't affect. Well, one of them I drank the medicine, it didn't affect me, which was the first night. And another time I went so deep the night before, I was like, I'm never doing this fucking shit again. And the facilitator said, just come and be present with us. You don't have to drink anything.
Oh, okay, that was nice.
But yeah, that was so nice. But it's definitely something that everyone should do. Like,
You really think everybody, or just the people that are called to it? I've heard both.
people that are called to it.
Okay.
For sure. If you have an open mind about it. Some people are probably too stuck in the 5 sense reality.
Sure.
Maybe disconnected from source energy, so maybe they're not the best
Ready
for
to
'em.
it.
I actually had a girl tell me she talked a guy into doing it, and he didn't want to do it. She talked him into it. Then he did it, and she was like, "What did she say to you?" And she said, "You're not supposed to be here right now."
Oh no! Wow.
Yeah. So that guy was right. He shouldn't have
Holy
done it.
moly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Did you have the plant definitely isn't calling me. But my question is, did you have a lot of fear going into it the first time? Did you?
First time was weird. It was like if you had a crush on a girl for like 10 years and you finally had a date with her. That's like the nervousness I felt.
Okay, that's
going
a
in
heavy
there.
level of nervousness right there.
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
years.
10 years. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
And you knew her that whole time. You were able to talk to her. You were like, just stuck in the
Yeah.
friend zone until then.
I think I didn't even meet her. Like, I always knew this girl would be perfect for me, so let's go meet her. And it
Yeah.
was literally 10 years because the first person I heard talk about it was David Icke when he went into Brazil. And back then, like, I knew nothing about, like,
Yeah.
I was, all I did was alcohol till I was like 30. And so I was always curious about ayahuasca, but I thought you had to go to Brazil or Peru to do
Sure.
it. And then I met this girl at a talk that I hosted for a radio host named Robert Scott Bell. So we just connected on Facebook, and then she shared something about the ayahuasca. So I messaged her and I said, "Hey, have you done it before?" And she gave me like this, she didn't answer yes, but she told me yes.
A vague Facebook answer.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know how the spiritual.
Let's meet.
The overly spiritual people talk. Well,
Right.
hello, brother. The medicine and I have danced on the moon a couple of times. I'm like, okay, cool. Cool. Can I get some? But
I like that word, overly spiritual. That's cool. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and I just say that I kind of like taking the piss at him in a fun way.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Because people take on the character sometimes.
Absolutely they do.
Versus,
Yep.
because like people hear the language that comes out of my mouth, I'm like, that guy is so not spiritual. Fuck him. And I'm like, well, I am spiritual because I'm being my authentic self. I'm not
Right.
being who I think I need to be to have
Sure.
that spiritual label. But anyhow, shortly after, she had messaged me and said, hey, my shaman's coming to town. Do you want to join us? And she gave me the pricing, and it was like $200. And I actually just did my money, and I happened to have an extra $200. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do
Okay,
it.
meant to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I felt. And when I didn't feel the medicine, I was like really disappointed. But I noticed I did feel more at peace the next morning, and I lost all desire to watch pornography. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's.
Like all desire from there on
I'm
out.
definitely
Yeah.
not doing it now.
Wow.
Yeah,
So then it did do something for you.
absolutely.
Clearly,
Wow.
that's something. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's huge, actually.
And she explained
Yeah.
that most people sit for 2 to 3 nights the first time
Mhm.
to make sure that they feel it. Because a lot of times, the other guy that I did it with, his name is Metza. He's actually in a ayahuasca documentary on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see him in Peru. He goes by his name Francois. And he explains that sometimes the body and the medicine have to talk to each other
Right.
and
You have
get
to
to know each
recognize,
other.
yeah.
Yeah, so the first time you do it, it may not have an effect. And I did 2 shots of it that night, and my friend did 3 shots. I must have fell asleep when that motherfucker did his 3rd shot. Because I thought like we were gonna both wake up the next day. Like, yeah, it didn't really do anything. And he was like, "Yo, did you trip, bro?" And I was like, "Nah." And he was like, he told me all this amazing stuff you saw, and I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Well, shit, I guess I missed out." But
Do enough.
yeah.
Should have gone for the 3rd.
Yeah,
Wow.
should have.
Well,
But I started a bit. I won't say what it is on air, but I started a business shortly after that where I was making a lot of money really fast. So I ended up meeting another girl who facilitates them at the time out here in Las Vegas, and she told me about her the shaman that she has. She says watch him on Netflix, and then I did 2 nights with her, and it was just the first time you go into it, it's amazing. Now let me preface that I did do mushrooms for the first time like 5 days before. So if you've never done psychedelics, just don't do ayahuasca. Do some mushrooms first, because
Hey,
mushrooms.
you know what? That's probably good advice.
Yeah, mushrooms is like watching the trailer to the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Cute
Did you go
analogy, I
heroic
like it.
dose, or did you just take a little bit for fun?
The mushrooms.
On the mushrooms, yeah.
It was pretty interesting. It was this this girl that worked at a coffee shop, who I'd known her for several years just by going to the coffee shop all the time. You guys probably know what coffee shop it is. And
Pretty sure we ate there this morning.
Yeah, pretty sure we did. We drive through there on the way here all the time.
A lot.
yeah, off on a
Because we're kind
on
of
a-
lazy
yeah,
that way.
Yeah, so a lot of people there are in that. Maybe not for the spiritual purposes, but they use those psychedelics for whatever purposes they do. And I asked her, she happened to have some socks with cannabis leaves on them. And this is before, like, if you could believe this shit, this is before, like,
That was cool.
yeah, before it was still, when cannabis
it
was
was
still
okay.
taboo in this
Yeah.
city.
Yeah. Not like now.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
so
my
cool.
god,
Oh,
I
the
love it.
future's
It's
great.
amazing, dude.
Our kids are gonna be like, you used to get arrested for having someone?
Yeah, right.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Now, our kids now live in a world where they won't have to go to jail for pot.
You don't have to deal with
Yeah,
that.
you know
what I
Harassed
mean?
by
It's
cops.
unbelievable.
And and whatever Jeff Sessions wants to do, I got a feeling that this is a fight he can't win.
No, it's what do they call it? Pandora's box? Or
Yeah,
it's out of the cat's out of the bag.
I keep calling it the domino effect. Once one state, Colorado, did really, really well and showed a good model on how to do it, and that you can be successful. And it's not
And
the
made a
Wild West like
shit ton of
California did.
money.
California really screwed up in a lot of
Taxes.
ways on their first round of medical
Mhm.
because it was just Wild West, and you know what I mean. But Colorado showed that it could be done and done right. And after that happened, I'm okay. That's it. It's never going to stop now. Especially with the amount of money they were making and where they're putting the money, it's never going to stop now. And
Yeah, it's just gonna. Like, I'd be surprised if it's not completely illegal or completely legal rather in the next 10 years.
yeah, absolutely. I don't see how it couldn't be. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, because everybody's going to be growing it, too. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's still a problem too. The fact that you can only buy so much at a time, so it
Yeah.
still has a lot of
I don't
chains
think,
on it.
limits.
But
I don't think that's a problem. I really think that it's better if, especially super conservative or the older people who may still have that stigma against weed, that we lube it up before we open it up. You know what I mean? That we slowly take our time with what we're doing and show them that it's not going to be reefer madness with people running and jumping out of buildings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because,
Raping white women.
Because like even there are people I know that like, I don't know, man, it's a big addiction problem and all this stuff,
No, it's
because they
not.
just haven't done the research and they don't know the difference between marijuana and hemp and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So I think it's better if we slowly open the door rather than just kick it.
yeah,
Right.
Agree.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's
I can
good
get
to
down
have
with that.
rules. We can break if we can change them later. It's good to have a good
Yeah,
foundation of
just
rules.
take it easy. Take it easy. There's 50 tries to get this thing right. Now, all 50 states will be this beautiful microcosm. We take all that the one that makes the most sense, or all of them that make sense, and then we let go of a federal law, and it's all over with.
Yeah,
Look at the
and I
United
love
States.
that if I just want to go home and get high tonight,
Mhm.
I can go to a pot shop on every other freaking corner.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not that much, but there's a lot of them.
There's
out
a
there.
lot,
It's
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to it's hard to go for a drive without seeing at least one or two.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like marijuana. I mean, excuse me.
See more liquor stores.
Alcohol.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Alcohol has had no competition for too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people don't want to be around drunk people.
Yeah.
People all don't want to get fucking wasted all the time and puke all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
They want a viable, nice alternative. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of people stayed away from it because it was illegal and because they had to go see the drug dealer who also had meth. But now they don't have to do that anymore. They get to go to a safe
you can't
place.
forget Coke.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes they had acid too.
And shrooms if it was a good day.
Anyhow, we digress really far. So
Yeah. I want to know about ion test.
By what?
An
Ion
test.
testing.
you were
Ion test?
Yeah, I mean.
That's
What's
not
the
what it is.
Scientology
The
thing?
Scientology test. It's not ion. I said I think it's ion.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I did
You
not
hold the
say-
rods.
Is that the same thing? Yeah, that was holding the rod.
Yeah, isn't you testing your ions?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Then we'll get back into mushrooms and ayahuasca.
Sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to.
That's just
Change
kind of
subject.
it's
It's
a
a
cute
podcast.
story.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was Health, Healing, and Happiness, the first one. Have you guys been to that event?
No, not once.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's a one. Like I think you go once, you might enjoy it, but
Yeah.
I haven't been in several years. It gets kind of repetitive. I spoke there the first 3 years, so I was just walking around, and there was this cute girl at the table. 'Cause that's how they fucking get
That's
you.
how they get you.
Girls,
Scientologists.
yeah.
So they're like,
That's how they get you.
I forget the pitch, but like, come here
Yeah.
and test the thing. So I end up holding the thing, and they're like, just hold a thought. Tell me what you're thinking about. Or no, don't tell me. Just hold the thought. And she's like, wow, you just got really enraged right now. And I was like, did I? And she was like, what were you thinking about? I was like, I was thinking about my daughter. And she said, what about your daughter enraged you? I was like, nothing. I fucking love her.
Yeah.
You idiot. No, I didn't say that. And, so she's like, okay, just let your mind go where it goes. She goes, okay, I got a very strong reading there too. She goes, what were you thinking about? I said, John Cena. And she said, what about...
My hero.
I'm fucking with her at this point.
Oh my God.
And she said, what about John Cena makes you enraged? And I said, well, I feel like he gets a lot of shit from the fans, but in real life, he seems like he'd be a really nice guy. And I'm bothered by that. She was like, why does that bother you? I was like, because they should cheer him. They shouldn't boo him. Like, look at him. He's a good-looking guy. He's a great wrestler. He's in great shape. And he's really nice. He's always smiling. And she was like, I want you to come see this movie. And I was like, no.
I'm good.
Yeah. I think that's where we're going to leave. I'm going to leave it there.
That was it.
I'll do an online petition to get fans to stop booing John Cena, and that will handle the rage in me.
I always love every time we go
That's
to
awesome.
Hollywood, and we're just right there on Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard, and you can see the huge Scientology Center with the big, like, I'm like, this is so hot. Like, the whole religion is super Hollywood. Like, I don't know, it just makes me giggle every time I see it.
The bell tower.
You know?
I'm glad it exists.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Is it a school? What
It
is
looks
this?
like a scare, like
Is
like
Professor X in there?
it looks like it looks like a scary movie comedy like Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like there really should be a State Puff Marshmallow Man on top of the Scientology thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a goofy ass thing. I guess I shouldn't say that. I don't know too much about it. It just seems real goofy on the outside.
It's absolutely goofy. There's a couple documentaries that are like, whoa, they're them holding people basically captive. Yep. In that city.
Really?
Yeah.
In Florida.
And And Florida and in the LA area because they have a compound in the LA
Oh,
area.
yes, they do. Yeah.
They
That's
lock
right.
people
They
in there.
lock
Literally.
people in there because there was a guy that Joe Rogan had on his
weird.
podcast, and he had just done an interview about it, and he was like uber up, like just below the guy who runs Scientology. Like he was like his like driver and security guard and right hand man and all that stuff. And the dude planned for 2 years to split because he had to hide money like in his mattress and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Whoa.
Because he
Yeah.
lived in this compound and wasn't allowed to leave unless he was doing his thing. And he says they say you're not held captive, but you are. You know what I mean? And you've been
Oh.
brainwashed to live there for so long, and so you also have that tearing the family thing apart because
Yeah.
they're your family. And you were there originally. You were there because you loved it, but then once the
Once you saw what
once
it
the
was.
veil was taken off and he saw what it was time to go. And
That was the leader's dad. The leader now, the one that took over.
oh yeah,
That
it's
was
his dad. It's his dad.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
dude. And his dad like punched him. His kid punched him a couple times, and you
Damn.
got to watch his documentary. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
I'm s-
bananas.
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
it is. That's
Yeah, it really is,
sounds
yeah.
like. How do you live like that? Like that's a nightmare life.
Yeah, he said the longer that his son was in charge, the more, and he's still in charge.
Yeah. Yes.
The more violent he gets, and he thinks like everybody's out to get him, and he's just very
Paranoid.
very Trumpy.
Very
He's a paranoid old guy, man.
Yeah.
Oh, a new word for Trump.
Very
Trumpy.
Trumpy.
I
Yeah,
like
he now
that.
became a different verb.
Yeah. Cool. Oh boy, what do you think of Trump?
I think he's an idiot, but I think all politicians are idiots. I
Yeah.
think they're all puppets to the Illuminati control system. I don't think. I think he might have been Plan B and got in because Plan A was connected with pedophilia.
Yeah.
So.
It was definitely Hillary. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, the whole Pizzagate thing came out where John Podesta was connected with it.
Oh,
and that
yes,
was her
yes, yes.
campaign
Yeah.
manager.
Yeah.
And I was surprised when he won.
Mm-hmm.
And it did make me question my belief system. Like, are elections really rigged? How did he win? But no, it's always candidate Plan A versus Plan B. I mean, look at
Totally.
Bush and Gore,
Yeah,
Bush and
absolutely.
Kerry,
Uh-huh.
Obama, McCain, Obama, and Romney.
Yes.
Like, they're all establishment people.
Out
so
of all those people, who do you trust the most? Like, which one do you give the most credit for? Or like, which one?
Oh, none of them.
None of them.
None of them.
Not even Obama.
No.
Yeah, no, me either.
Not at all.
I did trust Obama a lot until he just started waxing kids with drones, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, he dropped a bomb every 20 minutes in his
Yeah.
presidency.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Killed
like,
more people than any president before
Absolutely.
him.
But he
Yeah.
did it so silently that nobody
Yeah.
knows. Yeah.
yeah, and he's a very good speaker, and he'd make a great used car salesman. Like, you want to trust him. Like, even when he was running,
Yeah.
the first time I wanted to trust him.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, but I kept hearing David Icke in the back of my head. Presidents aren't elected; they're selected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually what kind of got me back into looking into the veil behind it. And there's very little. Like, all my friends that supported him, I was like, "What did he do?
Yeah.
What did he do?" And I couldn't get an answer. My one friend who's a lesbian said, "Well, he showed his support for the LGBT community." I say, "What did he do? He didn't legalize marriage amongst the homosexuals. That was the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
He didn't do shit."
Mm-mm.
Except make you feel good.
Yeah.
And now it's and I think Trump was put in there on purpose for the whole divide and conquer
Right.
Yeah.
aspect, because the way people were talking to me on social, here was my comment on social media. I saw the same hysteria after Bush got elected. I saw the same hysteria after Obama got elected. Everything's going to be okay. Let's all just kind of take a deep breath and calm down. And the response was from minority women, "You're a white male piece of shit, you racist, sexist motherfucker. You don't know what
Wow.
you're talking about." And I was
Honest-
like, everything in your comment was racist and sexist towards me.
Right.
But like, it doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
I
Right.
guess in their minds, and I was like, yeah, like you're doing what they want you to do.
Yeah, you're playing right into the script.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to.
That's another. Sorry, go ahead, baby.
No, it's hard to teach people. It's hard
Yeah.
to teach people how to be untaught.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
yeah.
Where we've been taught as a society that there's only two parties.
Mhm.
There's a blue team and
Or
a
the-
red team, and you got to pick a team.
And
That's
that other
just how
team
it
can
is.
never be right.
Because that's
Yeah,
how your household
exactly.
is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how your whole
Yeah.
family is,
Yeah.
and that's how all your friends' families are and stuff. And there's only two sides here in the United States.
Yeah, and the other thing I saw happen with his election too
not
is
true.
the alternative media
Yeah.
turned into alternative Fox News.
Mhm.
So a lot
Yeah.
of people that were like always like,
Goodness.
it's a conspiracy. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It's a conspiracy. All of a sudden, they're like, Trump is going to be our savior. He's going to bring us back to bliss. And here's the thing, too. It's January, so it's almost a year since his inauguration. All the people that said he was going to bring us our utopia were all fucking wrong. All the people that said he was going to bring back Nazi concentration camps were all fucking wrong. They're both wrong. Like, at what point do we say,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, maybe we do exactly what you guys are doing. You got a podcast. You have your own business now. You're trying to build a community.
Yep.
You guys are doing what we should be doing. What everyone
thank you.
should be making an attempt to do.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
they're so fucking good at that divide and conquer game when it comes to politics. And I want to say when it comes to race, but I think that's more the media than anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're right about that. I
Yeah.
think you're right about that because we have this space here, and I haven't had any kind of. I haven't had any. Nobody on the show knows, but there's actually a silent black man sitting at the table. It's funny.
He just showed up.
Yeah, he showed up today. But no, the whole point is I haven't felt any kind of tension between a lot of diverse black people coming in here. And I say diverse black people as in all tribes of black.
All tribes of white have been in here.
And
everything from my biker buddies, biker buddies to the hippies that love yoga. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
We're just talking over each other. Yeah, sorry. Worst podcasters ever.
Well, we live in an incredibly diverse city, and I remember when all that stuff at Charlottesville happened, which a lot of evidence shows that was fake and set up. I remember like walking outside, like thinking there's going to be a race war, and then I go to the grocery store. There's Asians, there's blacks, there's other white people, there's Jews, and it's like, hey, we're all just coexisting, living our lives, like.
Right.
And that's my favorite too when it comes to. The kind of the people that were bashing me for saying everything's going to be okay. The response I got a lot of time, you're a white male. You haven't, you don't care about
Your opinion doesn't matter.
My best friend for 12 years is black.
Okay.
My other close friend's a lesbian. I live with a Mexican. I have a really close friend from China. And then it becomes oh, now you're playing I got black and gay friend card. You brought it up. Fuck you, buddy.
I wouldn't even have brought it up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then I'm doing the divide and conquer thing too, just by saying, hey, let's all come together.
By playing it.
And then they point out my
right
sex and
into it.
race, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't see me post on Facebook anymore.
I mean, you can't win on Facebook.
I only
keep
promote
up.
on Facebook. I'm no longer.
Yeah.
That's all it's good for. It's that. It's good to keep up for
family,
local events in the community. And family too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason. That's one of the sole reasons we started this store, because you know what? Like, we can march in the streets, and we could scream and yell, and we can do all that stuff. But if we try to change commerce, if we just try to do it our way, if we say, you know what, fuck them, they were never for us, and even if they started as politicians that were for us, eventually they get to that place where they're corrupt and they can only do things through lobbyists, and besides, I've worked for the government. I was in the government for a long time. Who is that? I was in the government for a long time, and basically what the government is a whole bunch of people trying not to do their job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody, because they're guaranteed a paycheck, and they have set hours, so they're all just working. Unless you have people that are truly passionate about being a civil servant, it's just a whole bunch of people trying not to do their job, so you just get pushed around.
Right.
So we don't need them. What we need to do is do things like this, where we all work together, and I know it's super cliche, but we all just work together to make our own commerce, you know what I mean? And trade with each other, and hey, you got paint? Cool, I got this, and we trade with each other, and the money's going to come. The money's going to come. We'll be able to pay our bills, and we'll be able to affect change and shoot it out at a bright light, because watching things the way they were wasn't good enough for me anymore, for sure.
Right. And that's the thing, too. I think there's a new light happening right now. People are activating.
Yeah.
They've been feeling this need to change what they've been doing, because probably a lot to do with education. I mean, we've been really working hard. A lot of different tribes have been working really hard at these different things to bring a lot of things to light to help us become more enlightened, and I think people are at the point now where they're like, okay, well, I'm ready to make the change. I've made the change in my own life. I think it's time to make the change outside of my own life.
Yeah,
now,
totally.
And that's when things really start moving, right?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
And that's where it starts internally.
Great.
Because it's easy. Like, I had a rough 2017. Like, I'm never the new year, new me guy. So I was like, fuck 2018, man, bring it on.
It's my time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm buying into this illusion this time.
Well, we spent 2017, the better part of 2017, pushing to get this place open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this place just didn't open. Like, oh, magically the paint got on the walls, and you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't magically open. We worked very, very hard, and there was lots of arguments and us sitting around my backyard, because this business started at this table that we're sitting at now, but the table was in my house at the time, and us just brainstorming, and the more we brainstormed, the more it was just endless, the ideas. Anything you want to do in this spot, as long as it meets that code of ethics on that wall, which basically means you need to be of Earth, for Earth, you can do it. Come on in, because that's the other thing. We need to start a change of ethical doing business to where everything you do is ethical so that no slaves across the world are making it. Because just because you don't see them doesn't mean that those slaves didn't make your cell phone.
Right.
And they did. You know what I mean? Just because you don't see them.
Not only that, but depleting Earth of resources, that we
and,
can't afford to deplete anymore. I mean, that's the truth. It's a real truth. And, you know, fuck future, I guess. Fuck future humans. The way we're being right now, that's how we're living, literally. Is just fuck off, future humans. We don't care about you. And that's unfortunate because I care about them. You know, I might be one of them.
And it
depends on what you believe in, you know, and that reality really should really put people in check, you know, that we have an obligation and a responsibility to be the caretakers.
Yeah, we do.
And I think a lot of it starts with each other. If we can't take care of each other, how can we possibly take care of anything
you know
else?
That whole think locally, think locally, or act locally, think globally. Like any movement, anything starts with a nucleus at the beginning, and then it spreads out. And I think America's really waking up to the fact, especially a lot of people I know, but I know I'm in an echo chamber, so where they're really waking up to the fact that, okay, enough's enough. I can't watch any more TV, and I don't fucking care about the new cell phone. And you know what I mean? And one more Facebook post isn't going to do it. People are waking up to, I have enough shit. I know there's poor people in America. There is. But the poorest person in America isn't as poor as somebody even in Mexico. You know what I mean? Right. And we've realized that we got it pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But we've been taught a lie that we don't. You know what I mean? Crime in the United States has been on a steady decrease, not increase. But if you watch the news, you think opposite. You know what I mean?
Right.
Violent crime is down in every city across the board, minus a couple. You know what I mean? And those two, those have just been fed with drugs so hard that the government's just doing whatever they do. I don't understand that. But, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of rambling. Yeah. But I think that we can just move on without them.
Well, I like that you say that to remind us how good we have it, because that's where a lot of divide and conquer comes from. Like all these issues, and I won't get into full details because I have enough enemies, but like like a lot of the issues I see in the feminist movement, it's like, why don't you protest the embassy outside of Saudi Arabia, where women get their fucking heads chopped off for not wearing what are the things, the hijabs or burqa.
That just goes for circle to what we just said, though, right? How do we expect to change the world if we don't change what we're doing here now?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what I'm saying is the issues that I see in the feminist movement are kind of straw man issues where, like I tell my friend, explain to me what rights don't you have that I do have, and she couldn't explain anything. And it's just, and I saw another interview and someone brought up, well, Walmart was caught discriminating against their female employees and they got sued and they lost. Okay. Well, fuck Walmart because they're a shitty corporation.
Right.
Exactly. And the law protected those women that were getting discriminated against. Right. Okay, what else?
Right.
And I think a lot of that has to do with just us having it so good. These issues are planted in place to keep us fighting and keep us going and making you think there's a misogynist or a racist around every corner. Those fucking people do exist. No one's denying that.
Right.
But we do have it so good. They have to come up with issues for us to get us to argue over and distract us. And then social media plays such a big role in that. Like you were saying, like people get so sick of it. Like social media or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Netflix, Hulu, they're ghettos. They put us in these internet ghettos to keep us from creating. We live in the digital age. You can do anything. You can start your own podcast. You can do your own YouTube channel. You can start a business online with $0. But people are hitting refresh on their Facebook feed. It's an addiction, and it's a big problem.
Speaking of Facebook addiction,
right.
Did you guys see that Facebook exec that is apologizing now for engineering Facebook the way it is?
I think I did see that. I think I did see that.
And I don't want to get too far into it because I didn't read the story, but
there's a big psychology thing behind it, though.
Yeah,
they designed it
to make you addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who? Oh, really? Because you guys told us cigarettes were safe, so of course you did.
My friend, my late friend Liam Sheff said it a long time ago. He said it's digital MSG.
No, totally. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Wow, that is. Yeah, I like that.
It's meant to keep you coming back, and that's why I deleted my main account, just because I was like, who the fuck are all these people?
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, this is my opinion on this again, which is very narcissistic.
Sure.
And then you got all these people.
You're a comedian at heart, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
You really fucking are.
You're one of the. Let's be honest. Like I've seen what it goes on your page, and I always giggle. I'm like, this guy trolls people so
It's
hard.
unfortunate. See, it's unfortunate because comics are misunderstood humans.
Yeah.
They really fucking are.
Yeah.
And just so everybody who's ever been angry at
Nick.
let me just be his voice for a moment. He's a comedian at heart, people. And comedians are people who aren't heard the same way because they don't think the same way.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that life is fucking shitty. And some people are super passionate.
Too
and
passionate.
No, there's no such
Sometimes
thing
too
as
passionate.
too. No. There's no such thing as too passionate. Some
Fuck you
people
talking
are
about?
super
See?
passionate and and they want change so badly that they think it's ridiculous and start giggling in their head about the ridiculousness of how it's not going to it's not a realistic idea to say that it's going to be that way immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But
Is that truth, you think?
I think so, because
But-
there's some things that should make me angry. I just have to laugh.
you
Yeah.
have to.
Because what else can I do? Being angry is not going to solve anything.
Right.
And I think laughing is almost a defense mechanism to
Absolutely.
keep you from losing your happiness and your
But when
peace.
you don't,
mine.
though, that's what I was getting to, is when you don't laugh, that's when the words come out super sarcastically and what's the right word there? If another comedian read it, they would laugh. So not narcissistic. What's the word?
Satire?
No.
Oh,
Maybe satire. No.
no.
Keep guessing words like a medium. Just keep guessing words till he grabs one, and then be like, yeah, that's what I was talking about, brother.
Yeah, that one.
Is her name Jennifer? I'm seeing a Jennifer.
Shut up, I'm trying to think of a
It's a
fucking
J. A
English
J?
word, you dick. That comedians relate. That's the word.
They relate, yeah.
They relate to what the statement is being said, and it's funny.
It's the same as doing comedy to the back of the room, not the front.
Yeah.
You're making other comedians laugh.
Yeah.
That's it. Nick.
Comics.
That's it. And
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
And it's unfortunate because people who don't understand comedy get offended. That's what happens. That's why there's censorship, because comedians, you guys fuck it up, man. You guys fuck it up for everybody.
Do they call that?
You really do.
There's a
Because
book
you
written about that
offend
called
people.
People are just too
Comedy
sensitive.
Tourette's, where if you know there's a joke there,
Yeah.
it doesn't care. The Tourette's doesn't
just
stop.
takes over.
It just knows there's a joke there and it goes, fuck your mother. And it just comes out.
And in Nick's case, like you're talking about those Facebook battles that you have, it's one of those
Some of 'em
things
are
where you
pretty
tell
epic,
the
dude.
joke, you type them out, and then you're like, I probably shouldn't.
Send.
Fuck it. Right?
Like, this is going to offend a bunch of people.
Right?
Damn. But I'm the type, too, like, when you
That's
tell me you're
funny.
offended, that's not going to help me.
Yeah.
It's not
I know,
going to
thank
stop
you.
me
I'm not
from
going to
doing
get you
it.
to stop. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like, the big thing is the word cunt.
Yeah.
Like, I would just use the word
Yeah.
cunt very casually. Like, look at these cunts in
Like you are right
Monsanto
now.
doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I get called a misogynist.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you're a cunt. Like, now you make me want to
Now
say
you're being a cunt.
I want to say it harder
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Yeah, now I want to
Exactly.
say it more because
Yeah.
you told me
Yeah.
not to say
And
it.
you weren't
shouldn't
even
poke a
using it in
bear.
that
Yeah.
context.
No, it was it's like saying, "No, this guy's a dick.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy's a cunt."
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's a word.
It's
You
it's
shouldn't allow
words
a
are
word
funny,
to
right?
like
yeah.
enrage you like
It's like
that.
it's like
Right.
how kids are. Like
Yeah.
when kids see you happy, or when kids see you laugh at something that they did, they're gonna keep doing it. They're gonna
Totally.
keep hitting that button.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
oh, it's
yeah.
making you laugh.
Or it's under your skin. People
Yeah,
just
yeah.
keep going under your skin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the whole child thing. But
Mhm.
we're all children.
Yeah, it's I mean like that's how I was in high school. I remember being on the bus. I had a donut and I joked about throwing it at this guy. And he said, if you throw that donut at me, I'm going to fucking kill you. So I cocked back and threw it as hard as I could at him.
Could you not?
Just because he said it like that.
Yeah, I got you.
Like,
And then what did he do?
If he didn't do shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. If he was like, dude, I'm not in the mood, don't throw it at me, I would have said, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the fact that there was a threat that came with
Yeah,
it, was like,
exactly.
now, I didn't plan
You
on
have to.
throwing it at you.
Now I got to see what
Now
you're
I'm
gonna do.
Yeah, now I'm going to throw it at you, and it's going to be a problem.
Well, do you want to apologize to him now so that he can mark you off his list of people to kill?
With the red marker.
We ended on good terms. I don't think I've seen him since high school. We were buddies. It was
As he
just,
puts on lipstick.
It was just not, yeah. It was just not our day. Yeah.
He'll put lotion on its skin. Mm.
These things happen, you know.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
you get a donut thrown at you for saying don't do it.
I miss the days of getting a donut thrown at me instead of somebody being angry on Facebook would never talk to me.
Right.
Well, and that's the problem too with
Yeah.
Facebook. That's why I had to disconnect myself. Is that people, the way fucking people talk to me on there, they'll never talk to me like that in person.
Right.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
They've never talked
ever,
to
ever.
anybody that way, not
Yeah.
just you, but nobody would use that language with somebody else in person. You just
Right.
don't do that.
Yeah.
If I have to look at you and see your emotion and have a conversation, well, then I got a gauge of how you feel. But if I
Right.
can just say whatever you want, and I'm just looking at your stupid Facebook profile picture.
Yeah.
It's
I would
just-
love for somebody to call me a libtard after I just said hi, I love you.
Yeah, I
with
gave him a
hug.
hug. Yeah, fucking libtard.
Call me a libtard, please. I
Never
dare
would.
you.
They
You know what I
never
mean?
would.
Yeah, they
Like,
wouldn't.
yeah,
They
yeah,
wouldn't because
exactly.
that's not what's in our nature. And I think the Facebook and the digital shit is just it's fake communication. It's not real
Yeah.
connection.
No.
It's weird.
It's weird. And that's
Yeah.
why, like, I'm not saying being the first one, but conversations like this are so much better than.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's an actual
There's a connection.
connection
Yep.
and boundaries.
Yeah, I love it. I watch people and I'm like, oh man, we've had a few haters on this page for Happy Earth Month. I'm just like, how?
Why?
Yeah.
You be mad at
Like you're
us?
doing something good? Like
Yeah.
the nerve of you guys.
Fucking do-gooders. We've been called that a lot. Fucking do-gooders. Thumbs up, dude. We're feeding the homeless. Go fuck yourself.
What an insult.
I like the
A
one.
do-gooder.
Yeah, a
one-
do-gooder.
You're a
Somebody
do-gooder.
told us we were trying to make ourselves look good or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know.
You guys should try to make
you guys
yourselves.
make all that money and all you do is give socks to homeless people. I'm like, dude, you know how much fucking socks are? Yeah, you're right. That's all we do. Fuck off. $10 a package. I'm buying
I'm doing this. Like,
300 packages.
Stop
$300
it.
worth of packages every month.
Stop
Yeah.
it. Yeah, what did he say? He said
It doesn't matter.
that
But
was
yeah,
funny,
it's funny. People get angry about dumb stuff though. That's the
Mhm.
point. And it's usually those that are
Bored?
bored, but
Unfulfilled.
unfulfilled
Yeah.
certainly,
Haters.
and
Yeah.
and a lot of people
Yeah.
who cast judgment on others for doing what they're doing. It's only because they're like somewhat envious. A
Yes.
little
Yeah.
envious.
Envy,
of it.
envy does drive
You know,
drive
and-
that group of people a little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
It's
Yeah.
the same. It's the same with people like that hate gay people.
Mhm.
They don't hate
They
them
just love the
because
taste.
they
of-
are gay.
They're just envious. They're just envious of the gay lifestyle.
How can you not be? Look how much fun those people
I know.
have.
Right?
Jeez, I'd go gay just for an evening.
Have you ever been to their parties
Just
and
dancing
parades?
and no, but I have.
We have
I-
parades.
I have. When I was a hot young military man, I have exploited their culture for free.
For what?
For free drinks.
Free drinks.
My friend got back from a military school, and we went all along 2nd Street or whatever street that is, where all the bars are in Seattle. And there's a lot of gay bars, but they're mixed because it's like you pay $20 and you can get in all the bars on that street. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so we walk into one, and we didn't pay any attention. We ordered a drink, and I'm telling you, free drinks were coming, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then we looked, there's men dancing with men, and I was like, dude, you want to leave? He's like, fuck no, free drinks, bro.
Were you guys in uniform?
No.
Oh.
But we were really fit and not the way I look now. And we were young, dude. I was like 24.
So now I'm jealous because I go to gay bars with my lesbian friends and nobody buys me any
And
fucking
getting
drink.
Damn it.
Well, they know who you are. You're a
Because you're with the
misogynist
girls.
pig.
Yeah.
You're hanging out with the girls.
Hanging out with the ladies.
Well, my one friend, she used to do shows there, and
Mhm.
she looks like she can be intimidating if you're not on her loving side.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's why everyone
Just stays
stays
away.
me alone. Yeah, yeah.
Safe.
Yeah. That's okay. She buys me a drink once in a
Once in a
while.
while.
She marked him. Don't talk to him.
And I can't. I mean, maybe I don't know if that's really conceited. Maybe they were buying him all the drinks. I don't know. He could have been the hot one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who knows?
maybe.
So let's get back to ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Back around.
Yeah. And we're back.
So the first time I did mushrooms,
Yeah.
that was cool because I just kept eating them
Yeah.
until I
Oh,
felt like a high.
no.
Then I was like, let me stop. And my friend's like, do you want to go smoke? And at this time, I've probably only used cannabis like 10 times.
Oh, okay.
If that.
Enhancements.
In your whole life.
In my whole life.
Okay.
I was 31 the first time I used cannabis. If you
Okay.
can believe
Holy
that
moly,
shit.
Wow.
Nick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I used it when I was 13. It didn't do anything. My parents always accused me of using it. Then I found out that they used it and grew it. So I would steal it from them and sell it to kids in high school.
But you never smoked
Yeah.
I tried it once and it didn't do anything. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
You didn't
okay.
inhale.
Crazy.
You just
Oh, I
held it in your
inhaled.
cheeks.
And I rolled my own joint too. I don't know how the fuck I did that that at 13. But so I
learned it
used,
from you, Dad.
That's such a great commercial because that's so true for so many
It
kids.
is true.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Asshole hypocrite parents. You guys are using drugs. And the friend they accused me with, we were the only two in the neighborhood that were straight edge at the
That's
time.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That always
Everyone
sucks
else
to
was
be that
smoking.
kid,
Like
too,
actual
right?
straight edge with
Yeah.
the X on your hand and.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know about that label at
Yeah,
the
this is
time.
before.
I
Lame.
just didn't want to. Just wasn't
You
interested.
just weren't interested. So the mushrooms, the cannabis.
Yes, I used the cannabis, and then you ever do that thing with cannabis when you're like, okay, I'm pretty high. I'll just do one more hit, and smoking out of a bowl, and I guess I took my thumb off at the wrong time, and I just went.
Oh.
And when I blew it out, it came out in slow motion. I was like, whoa.
Oh
And
no.
I'm just sitting there like, all right, well, this is fucking kind of cool. Then I see this fireball in the sky. I was like, that plane's on fire.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Those people are going to die. But I was really at peace with their deaths.
That's
Then,
good. That's good.
It's the mushroom.
And there's not too many details of the night, but
That's a great one. You can end it there. Thank you. Good night.
well, my favorite part of the night is when I was talking to my friend. I was very engaged in the conversation. And then when the conversation broke, I would kind of like drift off, and I would start to think. So I was in this black space, and whenever I thought would form in holographic form, like
Oh,
right
that's
as I
cool.
thought it. And
That's
I was
super
like,
neat.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, I'm in the place where thoughts form. Fuck yeah! And then, like a week or two later, a month later, I think I did ayahuasca. But my sister was in town, and she was having alcohol problems. And I heard that
helps.
psilocybin helps with that. Yeah, so we went out to
Yeah.
Mount Charleston for 2 nights, and we did them out there, and
Excellent.
it was really great. And that was the first time I really started to go deep. But then there was kids drinking in the parking lot we were
Oh,
at.
that sucks.
So every time I heard them laugh, like I kind of came back to
Yeah.
this space, but still feeling it, and just like watching the clouds move was like, and it was amazing. So when I did the ayahuasca the first time, that was really helpful because I had some
Frame of reference.
yeah, experience of the altered reality. So the first time I did the ayahuasca, I remember it was in this fucking big, cool house, this pink house. And the poles, I was just looking at the poles, and they had the poles. How do I describe a pole? It was a pole, but it had like the ridges, the lines on it.
Okay, like a
just
pillar.
columns.
Yeah, pillar,
Like a
just coming
column?
straight down.
Yeah.
But I'm watching them start to twist. And
Oh.
I'm like, oh, buddy, it's
Like
happening.
in a circular motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like hula hooping.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It was so cool, and the next thing I know, like I'm in that space. I'm not really aware of my body, and I feel like I'm just being taken through these different dimensions. And then I saw this like big, like lizard-looking character, just with this big thing, like looking at me, and I can sense like he was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm just like, "What's up, man?" And then I feel like I'm inside of my own brain, like this holographic version of my brain. I could see all this information in there, and
Trippy.
and I just kind of came back, and I was like, "Holy shit!" It was really fast the first time, so I went and got some more, which wasn't the best move at the time. And the rest of the night was just kind of in oblivion. Like I felt like I was back in the school that I went to in 5th grade. Like I regressed back to that time.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Perfect,
Yeah.
vivid memories. Like just you're there.
I felt like I was just kind of walking through it.
Okay.
Like I was me now, and I was like, oh, this is the fucking school I went to. These are the
Oh,
kids
okay,
I
I
went to
got
school
you.
with.
Wow.
Like almost like watching. Like I don't remember seeing myself like as a kid then, but watching.
Oh, so it
part
wasn't
of my
third
life.
person, but you were there in the first person, but those people were the way they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reliving that
Oh, wow.
experience.
Yeah.
Probably.
And then
Weird.
yeah, so that was kind of the end of the first night. And every night, and shit, man, I wish I had my notes on me about it because
It's cool.
Every night it was a different experience.
Okay.
The most significant one was when I went very, very deep into my own subconscious, and at the time I was well, the first thing is I called off my job. I worked for a guy at the time who like was used to walking on people, and I didn't let him do that to me. So I had a lot of respect for him, or he had a lot of respect for me for just kind of like standing up for him to him. And I remember I called off work that day, and he called me, and he's like, "Are you coming in tomorrow?" And I was like, "I don't know, we'll see." And he got really mad at me, and I was like, "Dude, I gotta go." And I was out to dinner with this girl I was dating at the time, but I was like 30 minutes away from going to the ayahuasca. But I felt really bad just how like I fucking blew
How you
him
left
off.
it? That yeah.
Yeah, and and when I went deep, I was in my email. Like I was physically in my email, looking for an email from him. And then he was like there in the space with me, and the spiritual voice said to
Wow.
me, they said, "What is he doing here? Get him out of here." So I had to kind of clear him from my thoughts. And then the whole night, I was just in and out of consciousness. I was thrown up on myself. It was a very rough night. Like,
Yeah.
and so finally, the last time I purged, I saw these bubbles start to rise out of me, and I said, okay, whatever I threw up, that was it. It's out of me. I don't know what it is. And then this big movie projector screen came on top of me, and the girl that I was seeing at the time, I got to see I got to see me through her eyes, and there was like a lot of admiration there, and I could tell that she was really into me. And I told her all this afterwards, and it completely ruined the relationship. But which is fine in hindsight. I'm glad it worked out.
That's funny.
And it said, "You were good enough. You deserve her." And what I realized is all the pain with my previous relationship with my daughter's mother kind of kept me at bay from being too romantic with anybody. And that allowed me to kind of come back to the person
Have
romantically.
Yeah,
come back to the man that I was before I met the she-devil who sucked my soul. No, I'm just joking.
Now that's the mommy.
You're describing everybody's ex.
That's everybody's ex.
We all have one of those. If you don't, you're very fortunate. But
High five, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I've been with her for 21 years now, so.
Too long.
Too long.
Too long, yeah. No, it hasn't all been.
I mean, after the
it hasn't
first
all
two,
been coffee
right?
and donuts,
That's how
but
it goes.
yeah.
Anyway.
But here we are. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, but that was kind of the gist of it. It took me deep enough to. That's where all the purging came from, because you throw up on ayahuasca and you're supposed to.
Yeah.
You have to embrace it, because at first I feared the throwing up, like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. Then I think after like the third night, I finally I purged and it felt great, and I was like, all right, let's fucking all right. So every time I was like, all right, bring it on, like let's get it out.
Let's keep doing the work.
Yeah, and a lot of even the purging is very spiritual. One of these times I remember I'm just throwing up in the bucket, and I'm seeing all this numerology beside me, and I feel like I'm spinning in this space. But I felt the overwhelming feeling was like I've been here before, a million times before, and I'm gonna come back here a million other times. And I remember just.
So give a shit about the future humans, right?
Oh man,
that's like the message everybody that goes to do ayahuasca has been saying. That's what I've heard. Lots of times that this isn't the first or last time.
Yeah.
Of being here on Earth.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
Like
or in that realm, right? That's what I get. Anyways, go on.
Well, that's spiritual space. And it was funny because I remember just purging like crazy, like I was dying purging. And when I was done, it was completely silent in the room. And I realized that the shaman, he was waiting for me to finish because he knew I had to do, because we're all kind of connected in the room.
Right.
And that's always been a nice one too, feeling that overwhelming love and oneness between everyone that you're doing it with. Like this guy I met, and I saw him at other experiences, and he's like, yeah, this one time I was here and I was throwing up. So I was like, I remember, I was cheering you on. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I was in another dimension, and all I hear is this vomiting in my ear.
Yeah,
and he's across the room. So I shouldn't have heard him so loud, but it was right in my ear. And I felt like we were all there, like metaphysically patting him on his back and saying, you're going to be okay, you're going to get through this. And he was like really shocked to hear me describe his experience to him.
From your perspective.
Yeah, because he thought he was like, I thought I was going to die. He's like, I thought I was on my deathbed and I wasn't going to get out of here, and it was it for me. I was like, no, we were all there for you. Like, we didn't talk to you about it afterwards, but that's what happened.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's
kind of something to think about on this reality. Like that's there clearly, right? It's got to be there like all the time. Just because we don't see it, we're not ayahuasca-ing or whatever the term is right now, right? But it's got to be there. So if that's there, then that's nice to know. Yeah,
well, it's like you always have support no matter if you think you do or you think you don't, because even like with my hard times this year, I have some really fucking great friends that just kind of came through for me without me asking. Like Anthony Foresta, like he's helped me out so much this year.
Totally.
Without me asking, him just saying, hey, you need help moving? I'm going to help you. Like, moving fucking sucks.
He's an angel.
I don't like using the H word, but I hate moving more than anything. And he was like, no, let's do it. I'll bring my Jeep, we'll load it up, we'll take as long as it needs. Let's do it. Okay. Can I buy you lunch afterwards? No, man. I got to go. I want to buy. No, I wanted to help you. You didn't have to do anything for me in return.
He's a servant, man.
Yeah,
I love him. He's the best.
Yeah, he's definitely, and I got like three, I got a lot of good female friends too, but like all my male friends are like that, fortunately.
You need solid core group of friends, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have slowly over the years realized that more friends doesn't mean you have friends. You need a core. You need, you know what I mean?
People you can depend on.
Yeah.
That's it, and that's it. They can be family or friends, it doesn't matter. But being able to depend on people, not just depend on people, but be brave enough and love them and know them enough to say, hey, I need help. Can you help me?
You know,
that's a hard thing, man. People have pride.
And
know?
people
Yeah,
know
it
they're
is.
going to come
I'm
when
still
you
like
say
that
it.
sometimes. I'm
Yeah,
still like,
everybody is.
fuck, I don't want to ask anybody for.
Yeah.
Even two guys I met at my new job. I had I won't get into too many details, but I had a big sale fall through on eBay where a guy destroyed my machine. I was like, fucking ass. Like, I was so mad. And I'm telling this guy about this, and he said, can we have a weird conversation? And I was like, let's do it, man. I can get weird. And he was like, well, I donate money to the church every time I got a sale in my real estate, but I had this overwhelming feeling I'm supposed to help you. And he's like, how much was that machine? And I told him the amount, and he's like, that's exactly how much 10% of my thing is. And I'm just like, dude, I can't take money from you. He's like, no, you have to. You have to take this money from me. I'm like,
Oh, wow, that's so
and
cool.
like, it helped me with exactly what I needed at exactly that moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And like another friend, just something simple, like got into a little car accident Christmas Day, busted 2 of my rims up. It was cheaper to fix than I expected, luckily. And another guy, I'm just telling him about it. He's like, oh, I'm off Tuesday. I'll pick you up. We'll go get your new tires. And I was like, oh, you're busy, man. You got your kid. He's like, no. He goes, you do it for me, wouldn't you? I was like, well, yeah, I would. And he's like, okay. And he picked me up. I was driving that evening. But it's just having that positive attitude that, like, even, if your friends aren't in a position to help you, or if you're afraid to ask, somebody's going to come through for you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and especially if you're putting out, it takes a minute. Bad people probably don't have that luxury.
Yeah,
when I say bad people,
you have to keep your heart open.
Yeah.
You get what you give in life, period.
When I say bad people, I mean people who aren't, doing that and helping those that come and say, help me.
No,
And those that say, I'm too busy for you. I'm busy doing me.
But also, if you're just shitting on everybody and
those
lying to them.
Those people probably don't have the luxury of having people they could fall back on like we do, because you need help, I'll help.
You get what you give. That's the key to life.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to receive, that's what you got to give. And you got to give it more and more and more and more. Because, I don't know. You know what I mean? Just get what you give. If you're going to be around town lying and talking shit and all that stuff's going to come back to you. Stealing, all that stuff's going to come back to you. And actually, you can't even feel bad when it happens. But I kind of deserve that.
Yeah, and one thing I learned, too, because I recently fell out with someone who I was close with, and when you're generous with someone, you can't keep a ledger.
Oh, no.
You have to give your generosity and just move on about it.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And
That's a tough one.
Even the guy that helped me with the money, he's like, I won't take any money back from you. He goes, if you want to pay it back, pay it forward to somebody else.
Right.
He's like, I'm not going to be able to take it back from you.
That's what's up.
And I'm like, man, it was a miracle at the time, and but that's really important, is that you don't keep track, thinking that, because you do something for me, I will help you out if I can, but it's hard to say when you come, like, I did this for you, now you owe me that.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's a
No,
tough one.
owing.
Yeah, there's no
I
owing.
don't.
If you do
Yeah.
something nice for somebody, that's the end of it, right?
That's not how it works. Because giving is love, right? And love is having, a feeling and want for somebody without an expectation of back. It's just love, and that's what giving is. Giving is just love. You don't expect anything back when you give it away. It is. Just
Yeah,
is. It's yours to give. You're not. It's what we do.
I'm worse at receiving than giving. I almost don't like it. Like, comfortable.
Receiving is
and-
very uncomfortable
yeah.
for me too. I don't like it. I'm like, no. Just give it to the space. It's easier that way. Give it to Happy Earth Market.
Yeah. That's easy
Yeah.
now. Just donate some hours here.
Yeah.
Well, we're told that too. Like, well, if you accept things from somebody, you're a mooch, or you're just being a piece of shit. Well, not all. Like, if you're looking for that, yeah, maybe that's a problem.
I think there's a difference, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So, like, almost like I feel like that too. Like, man, this guy's gonna give me this money, and like we've only been friends for less than a month. Like, what the fuck? Like, I like almost like I'm not worthy
What
to
kind
take
of
it.
expectations is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Having this spot and being here and just dealing with a lot of different personalities and a lot of different people, because they're coming into a store, and I've never been in customer service, and they're coming into a store, so I have to accept them. You know what I mean? And I'm not the nicest person you've ever met. I really am not. But what I notice is that right off the bat, I understand if somebody's intentions aren't good here. Like, immediately. Like, their intentions are anything other than good, or they have some sort of ulterior motive for coming here and talking to us. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to get more for them than they are trying to be part of this. I can tell right away. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it makes sense what I'm saying.
We know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, no. but that's not the only thing. There's other things that happen. I'm like, oh yeah. Even I'm talking about from homeless people up to people with money. Just like, oh yeah, you're not gonna fit.
Right. Yeah.
But that's good though too, because you shared a photo that I loved because it described my 2017. It's like I'm lighting my way with all the bridges I'm
that burn.
burning.
Yeah, I love that photo.
And that's really important sometimes, because when I first had a falling out with someone we talked about earlier from GMO Free Vegas, and that was the first time I had a falling out with someone in years. And I was just like, oh my God, like I actually have a person in my life who I'm like, fuck this person, I don't want anything to do with them.
Yeah.
And it kept happening over the, I mean, not it kept happening, but over the course of the next year or two, there's people I just kept cutting off, and but I realized it's necessary sometimes because again, not everyone is being honest with their intentions.
Right.
So you feel a connection with this person, but their connection is based on, well, we're on the same page, but mine's more of how can I personally advance. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to personally advance, but it's personally advance without
helping the outside.
Yeah. It's all like if I have to fuck you over for me to personally advance, that's
I will.
okay.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
That's not okay.
No.
So I've realized, especially with like a person I recently, like mentioned earlier, recently fell out with. I was like, man, I can't believe this is happening. We were so close, and then it became good. I'm glad it happened because everything came to the surface.
Yeah.
Everything that was silently, all the silent judgment, and you owe me this because I did this for you. It's like. Yeah, your generosity is great, but fuck off. Like, I don't need to be connected with you anymore. And and it's sad on one level, but it's beautiful on another level, because not everyone, and no one's a bad person because we don't talk anymore.
Right.
It's just that where I'm going is not where you're going.
Different path.
Yeah, exactly.
But same path, just different ways of going about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Because, like, it goes back to the whole thing. We're all on the same journey. We're all trying to be better and basically go to peace and happiness eventually as a globe, the whole planet. Wouldn't that be great? And that's in everybody's mindset. And
Yeah, we need aliens, man.
anyway.
They're here. They're just hiding.
Are they?
Like, look at those
Maybe
crazy.
they're not hiding.
Those crazy.
Maybe
Yeah, I
they're
don't
building
know.
places like this.
If I was some intelligent race and I came here and saw the way that we treat Mother, I'd be like,
Everything. See
yeah,
the
I'm
way
not
we
fucking with you
treat
guys till you
everything.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Look at these cunts.
Yeah, these fucking cunts. That may be the name of the show. I don't think we're going to get many views, but it might work.
What time we got? Oh, we're good. We
no.
are 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You good?
I want to do one more subject.
What is it?
Single daddyism.
Ah.
I want to.
It's a good life.
I want to talk
It's
about
tough,
it. I
but
want
yeah.
to say real quick before you get into it, though, how cool, really cool it is. How inspiring you are to see you out there with your daughter protesting with fluoride water signs, and every protest I've been to, she's been there.
Yeah.
And that's cool. It's cool because
Thank you.
it's important, I think, to teach.
Yeah, you got to learn them
and
young.
She's got her own show.
Yeah, she's and we're doing more with her YouTube channel this year, and getting the non-GMO kitchen to be like a real consistent thing.
Yeah, consistency is the key.
Yeah, and she loves it. Like
And she's great.
She's so like, I don't want to use this overused word, but woken.
Yeah, woke.
She's so like
So woke.
aware of all the bullshit. Like
She's got a good teacher.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
That's the fact.
But, like, we'll be driving
Clearly.
down the street, and she'll be like, why does the government put all these cameras up? What are they afraid of? Why do they have to spy on us? What do they think's going to happen? Like, I'm like,
How old is she?
she's 10 now.
10.
Yeah, she's all about it, man. She loves being vegan. She's into not hurting animals. Like, that's a big
great.
thing for her.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, 'cause even we'll see the least vegan thing I do is watch cooking shows, because I like to take those carnivore recipes and make plant-based versions of them.
Yeah.
And we were watching MasterChef Junior, and like every time like a piece of meat comes out, she's like, "Oh, that poor cow. Like why can't they just leave that cow alone?"
Figure
And
this out without doing that. Yeah.
yeah, they did make a vegan burger on that show, so that was pretty cool.
Cool.
The girl from
See,
Blossom came out.
I like that that's happening too, and I see that more and more but just the conversation of regular people with veganism, and I'm not a vegan, but vegetarianism, and just the push towards a more plant-based diet is good.
It's becoming mainstream.
Mhm.
It's like showing up on the
It's
tube.
cool.
They're talking about it on the tube, Nick.
Yeah, well, when we saw like it was just last night, we were watching MasterChef Junior, and the girl who she was in Blossom when I was a kid. I guess she was on The Big Bang Theory.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she came out and said, "I'm vegan," and this kid, this little chubby kid from Texas, is like, "I eat meat in everything I do," blah blah, and he won the competition for making the best vegan burger from scratch.
That's awesome.
Good for him, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
and I was like, just the fact that even though there's like every meal has animal product in it, just the fact that they made that a segment shows you that the mainstream sees viability in it, and that
Absolutely.
it's becoming a real thing.
The market's changing, so they got to keep up with it and keep selling, right? That's what it all boils down to, is they have to keep selling. So that's
Pretty
where the
much.
market's shifting. So pretty soon, that's all they're going to be talking about. You know?
Yeah, it's and I know we digress from the single dad thing, but
sorry, that's what happens.
well, no, she's like she's just so aware of everything that's happening
That's great.
in the world, and like she knows the politics talk we had earlier. She knows that's bullshit. She knows all about the divide and conquer agenda.
So does your ex-wife? Does she teach and talk the same way that you do?
No, she drinks Coke and eats Cheetos.
So how does your daughter do that at home? I assume you guys split time or something.
Yeah, she's more with Grandma over there,
Mm.
and Grandma's positive and
Don't kill her.
just a good positive thinker. So she's she can see the difference in parenting. Like she knows Dad's one way, Mom's another way, and she kind of knows which way is probably more beneficial.
Yeah.
To living a good and happy life.
Clean life.
Healthy
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, does she go to public school or private, or is
She goes to private school.
Yeah.
She doesn't like it. She's a straight A student, though. I don't know if she's ever got anything but an A.
Does she teach all her classmates about GMOs and stuff?
Not really.
Right?
She
No? Oh my God, it'd be amazing if she did.
No, she just gets excited when she meets another vegan kid. She's best friends with Enrique and Anna's daughter. You guys know
Okay,
them?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love them
Yeah,
both.
Farmer Enrique. She's a little vegan girl too, so they
Yeah.
just love each other when they get together.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's fun.
Yeah, so they're pretty happy about that. That they have each other as best friends, but and I don't think she gets into too much of that stuff with other. But she sees it almost like an alien observing.
Yeah, I understand
like
that.
she almost like she's a visitor to the planet. She's like, oh, okay, this kid did this, and that was kind of
You know-
weird, and this kid did this, and
I used
yeah.
to try really hard at work, and I know the day I stopped. I have a really great coworker. She's awesome. I love her to death. If she called me right now, I'd quit what we're doing and go help her. But she's like, "Oh, I got healthy options for you," and it was like, it was oh my
So
God,
cute.
it was a whole grain Ritz. And I'm like, I'm not mad. Thank you for thinking of me, first of all. But I'm like, okay, you know, I'm talking to a wall, because there's a bigger picture than just eating healthy. You know what I mean? It's a bigger picture than eating healthy. It's a whole way to be for the planet, so we don't fuck it up anymore, and a way to live with the planet, so it live with us, and thinking about the generations ahead of us, not just us. And so the Ritz cracker thing just made me giggle. I'm like, oh, thank you. And I even ate some Ritz crackers to be polite, but I'm like, okay, I'm done talking.
Yeah, it's because I just went back to work, and it's interesting kind of seeing.
You forget.
Yeah, I don't know what to call them. People that are
Consumers.
just
I call them consumers.
Yeah,
Nick.
people
That's
that
a
are
good
still
way
in
to-
that identify completely with the 5 sense reality.
Yeah.
To where like we're here. There's nothing outside the metaphysical or outside the physical. It's nothing metaphysical. There's nothing spiritual. That stuff's goofy.
Yeah.
You don't eat this. You don't. Oh, you're vegan and you eat organic too. Like, like why? Like, isn't your life boring? Is it like no? It's actually the opposite. Like
Yeah.
it improved when I changed my
Really,
dietary
yeah.
habits.
Build.
Yeah, it improved when I started paying attention to how the world works a little bit more. So it's definitely weird being in that space.
Yeah.
And
But
Sucks, right?
observing. Yeah,
A little bit.
but
it does suck, but you can't stay in an echo chamber. You have to.
Yeah.
You live in the society we live in.
Yeah, and there are people that are more awake than you think. Like the one guy helping me with my tires, he starts talking about shootings, and he uses the term false flag, and I was like, we got more to talk about. Then this other girl sees me eating a banana and some Lara bars, and she's like, she's like, I eat fish sometimes, and I eat a little bit of cheese, but other than that, we eat very similar. You know, it's like, okay, that's cool. Like, so
Yeah.
you're, you know,
Yeah, you're on a different level in your path.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more so than you think. And like when we had our orientation, they were ordering food, and I just said, hey, just so you know, I'm vegan. So whatever you eat, if it's not vegan, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And you know, I prefer like whole foods and stuff too. And the guy orders me it wasn't the healthiest, but it wasn't very unhealthy. It was a burrito,
Cool.
but it was all plants inside of it. And people start asking questions. This old ass
Right.
man, he's like
Right.
79, but like kind of still kind of hip. He's like, what's that vegan stuff all about, son? Like, tell me about it. Like, you don't eat what? I'm like, no, I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy. I don't eat eggs. I don't eat honey. No fish. Like, motherfucker, you don't eat honey? This dude sounds just like Samuel L. Jackson. It's hilarious.
Well, so I mean, I think you just broke it down. That is the big difference between veganism and vegetarianism, is that you basically don't eat anything that was ever alive besides plants. Right?
Yeah, correct.
So
Nothing that came from an animal.
yeah, I try. I still eat
And bug.
I still eat meat, and
Do
I
you
try
guys
to go
consider
80.
bees animals?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Vegans.
bees are animals.
Bees are,
Yeah.
I'm almost vegan.
almost. She's real close.
Like I'm almost there.
You go. I mean, you pretty much
It's
are.
funny. It's funny. The process is so slow, but it's not at the same time because you think of all the stuff. Like I haven't had cheese in forever. Like it's been so long.
There wasn't cheese
really
on that vegetarian burger we had today, right?
No.
And
No,
that place
like
is bomb.
And it's
What
one of those
place is
things
that?
I don't miss. You know what I
Greens
mean?
and Grill.
Greens and Grill.
Oh, I never heard of it.
It's on Charleston, and just
Gotcha.
right by UMC. Super
Okay.
good, dude. Yeah,
Oh.
and they're bomb.
It's
And
like cheap fast food. And
they
Yeah.
have vegan,
Yeah.
vegetarian.
They have vegan stuff in there.
They have
very
all
cool.
options.
Mm-hmm.
All options are there
Probably
for you.
not organic, but whatever.
You know.
Fast food is fast food.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we have some.
I'm glad we have fast food
something.
options now.
Yeah, that's
Something.
awesome.
It's. Well, I went a little bit more lenient on the organic because when you guys first met me, it was 100%
Yeah, us
organic.
too,
honey.
Yeah,
Me
us
too.
too.
It was
Fuck
like-
everything that's not organic. But now
Yep.
it's like, okay, I can eat out sometimes. and
Yeah.
I won't purposely
Exactly.
eat something with GMOs in it.
Mhm.
It's possible something slips in from time to time.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'm not much of a stickler because eating out is such a way to bond with people.
people.
Yeah.
We decided a
hard
long
not
time
to.
ago.
Mhm.
I forget, it was probably about 2 years ago, that we are GMO free in the house, and we're not going to push that on any of our friends. And when we go out, we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to eat and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that really
And
did.
Happier's Market too. There's no we're trying. I mean,
We're
we aren't bringing in the GMOs.
Mhm. But we're not going to fight
Control
people.
the community,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
we're teaching them.
I'm
and
not going to
that's-
snap at people anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it. But they're not allowed to bring meat in here. That's not going to happen.
Mm.
I like that. I
Jackfruit.
like that.
Jackfruit.
My new
stuff's
favorite.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, 702 Humane Foods. I'll plug them real quick. Those vegan nachos they made are hands down. What did I say it wrong?
Isn't it?
Oh, it's Humane Food 702. Excuse
Yeah.
me.
Dyslexia's a bitch.
They sticker bomb my table, but
Fucking fluoride.
but
No.
that those jackfruit nachos they had at our grand opening
Yeah.
are
Mm.
on par with any nachos I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were
jackfruit's
so
a
good,
neat-
if not better.
Do you
Yeah.
cook with jackfruit?
Not often, but I want to learn more.
Yeah.
Because it's such a unique fruit.
So
Mhm.
good.
You can make a lot of
It's
faux
fibrous.
pork
Yeah,
dishes with
and that's
it.
what it was.
That's what it
They
was.
made carnitas.
It tasted as
So
close
bomb.
to anything. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
texture and all that stuff. But then again, like, that's here. I'll talk about it right now. Like a lot of the fake meat. What is that shit? The meat protein.
Yeah.
I
that's
hate it. I hate it. I like vegetables. So what's the problem? Like, why do we have to? Why do people have to?
Substitute meat.
Like, is it to attract
Product.
to attract people who wouldn't eat it?
Hmm.
You know, who'd be like,
I think my opinion of it is I think it's a good transition for people who are meat eaters who are trying to learn how to not be meat eaters to
It's-
go to a place that says chicken even though they know it's not chicken. It's
yeah, I think
Mhm.
that
fake
meat.
chicken.
Yeah.
That meat protein
It's
sucks.
okay.
Yeah, it's more for
gross.
people that are vegan for 100% ethical purposes
Mhm.
and don't consider their health a priority.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't eat that faux meat for years.
You like it now?
It depends on the brand.
Mhm.
Like, I've had some that I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yuck.
Ugh, what's this
Yeah,
shit? But then there's
yeah.
some, like the tofurkey Italian sausage is really
Mhm.
good. But I only eat it sometimes because it's full of gluten and I feel like dog shit afterwards.
Right.
And I think, all right, how much Roundup is on this gluten? Like,
It
so-
never
It just
ends.
goes on
That's
there.
her. That's her, man.
Yeah.
It's like hitting myself with a rubber mallet on my head.
Like Sam,
and
you can't feel guilty about just being
I'll just
at
eat a
home.
banana. It's just easy.
Yeah. Real food, like, is what you need. Well, I mean, last
Right.
night, me and my daughter, we got some non-GMO vegan hot dogs and an organic croissant. We rolled them up, made pigs in a
Just
blanket.
nice.
You know, they were awesome.
Yeah.
But that's like maybe a once a month type of deal.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, actually cooking from scratch and making food with legumes and seeds and leafy greens and all types of vegetables. It's
I
like
love
it's
it.
amazing how great you can make
Oh.
something with just 6 ingredients and a couple condiments and a couple
Totally.
spices. Yeah.
She made this vegetarian, I'll call it chili, the other night. It was on New Year's Eve. It was just her and I. She made this chili. Oh wow, dude, so good. Like it was knock your
I
socks
always
off.
call
Yeah.
those meals the something or other meals because I'm like, what do you want for dinner? You know,
Well, what do we got?
we have things to make, but I'm like,
Yeah, we do. We have
we've
all
got
these raw ingredients.
so I'll just throw something or other together, and then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like something different. And I don't have a name
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
There's no recipe.
So we've
It's just-
also-
Yeah, no, that's like, and the worst is when
good.
you don't write it down. You're like,
Mm.
oh my god, that was so good. How the hell did I make
Yeah.
it?
Never
It'll
make it
come-
again, and
it'll
that's what I
come
love.
again.
So
It'll
we
come
wrote
again
down
someday.
our gratitude list because it was just her and I. And we wrote down our gratitude list and then our one goal for the year, and then we burnt it in the fire.
nice.
at midnight, and that was one of my gratitudes. Is I'm grateful for something or others, and that's her meal. Like that's what she calls it, when she just throws shit together.
Something or others.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing to eat but ingredients. I love that.
Yeah, there's no boxed meal here. Yeah, that meal was great, and I was super stoked to eat it.
Anyway, yeah, that's fun. So do you want to plug your daughter's, what are you doing? What are you doing, Nick? What's Nick been up to right now? What do you want to plug?
You know what? Just mostly the YouTube stuff. I plan on relaunching Health Conspiracy Reloaded.
Excellent.
It was called Health Conspiracy Related. It was called Health Conspiracy Reloaded. It'd just be twice a month, where I get a new guest once a month and I replay an old episode once a month. Because I have 250 old episodes.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of content.
And you're happy with all those episodes?
There's a handful of them that sucked. I had this one guy on. He won't listen to this, so I don't mind. He's called the Plant-Based Comedian. He was supposed to be a comedian, and he wasn't funny at all. Really nice guy. And yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Really nice guy.
Well, my friend Leslie, she was a co-host at the time. She booked him, and she's texting me as the interview's going, like, "Sorry, this guy sucks. My bad." And there's other people who I have burned bridges with, to where I don't believe they were genuine. So those episodes aren't going to make the cut. But
fair enough. If you cut ties with them, you probably shouldn't put something up with them.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And so I should actually have an episode up. Maybe I should have one up maybe Thursday. I got to check my schedule.
Oh, excellent.
But
This will go up Monday morning.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I've done podcasting. I'm done editing. The conversation was a conversation. I put a beginning and an end, and that's it.
And to be honest,
that's what I used to do. It's the easiest way to do it.
To be honest, most of the cutting is Nate cutting his own talking out. He does that.
Oh, don't even worry about that.
I don't like what I said there. Let me talk that. No, it's just the conversation we
takes the whole
had.
thing out.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. And then the goal is to get a video out a month on the Veganic Girls channel.
Excellent.
And then I'm just really going to sit down and with a notepad and a pen and figure out the best way to make the non-GMO kitchen something awesome. I might rename it. I like the name, but I think maybe something more universally
catchy,
appealing.
Yeah, cool.
And cause I think that's where...
Have you thought about having guest chefs?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Actually, Steven from Humane Food, he reached out to me a couple months ago.
Excellent.
And my car was broke down at the time, so we really couldn't meet.
Okay.
But yeah, he wanted to help video some stuff. And
Excellent.
so...
those guys are great with the camera, so...
Yeah. So I definitely want to do some more stuff with him. And but yeah, I think that's really, I love the radio, and I'll never stop doing radio just because of the connections of the people that I meet.
Yeah.
I do want to do one of my own videos on my regular YouTube channel, maybe once a quarter. Definitely want to have my daughter set up to be able to do something with that brand when she's out of high school. But I think the cooking show is where I'm going to enjoy it the most, and people are going to love it the most, because it's really, food is where it's at. And,
Absolutely.
And taking food and being creative with it, I love it, and other people love it. That's why cooking shows are so freaking popular
for sure.
throughout the world.
Yeah.
Because people love seeing a pile of individual ingredients and it turning into this work of art.
Absolutely.
It's art.
It's absolutely art. Yeah.
Beautiful and
timing
delicious and healthy and yada yada, and good for the planet.
Yeah. Cool.
What about doing some more of the interviews on the strip?
Yeah, that's
that was fun.
Yeah, definitely going to do more of those. Last one I did was a 9/11 one. Just asking people if they knew about Building 7, the mystery building.
Just that one
fell
question?
That day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended up being let's say I did a short version, a 10-minute version of it. Got about 4,000 views. David Icke shared it, so that gave it a good bump. And then I did the uncut version, just because I wanted the people to know I'm not making anyone look dumb. And that was 30 minutes, and then I'm getting like 5,500 views.
Oh, nice, cool.
So it definitely got some good reactions, and I definitely want to do that on a more of a regular basis, because
And do more GMO based.
Yeah.
That was fun. I forget what it was.
Or I was just running down the street cussing, asking people if they know what a GMO was.
You had cereal boxes, and you're helping people.
Oh, that
Remember?
one. Yeah, that was the paint thinner on children's cereal.
That's right. That was
Yeah.
hilarious. I was dying. Would you eat paint thinner?
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was the most popular video by far. That video always makes a rebound once or twice a
Does
year.
it?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, someone will just start sharing it, and it'll get like a couple more thousand
Yeah,
views.
I have a video on YouTube
so
of
funny.
my fat cousin falling down a slide that just keeps doing well.
And the one you falling off the chair?
Oh, the one falling off a chair. Oh God. So yeah, that video was always like, it just shows up. Like somebody will send it to me out of the blue. Like, here you are falling off a chair, stupid. Oh yeah, I'm still human.
Shit happens, man. Sometimes
Yeah.
you fall off chairs.
Oh, and I just got out of
And you get back up, Nate.
I had
Sit back in that chair.
yeah, get back up. I didn't want to.
I'm never
That's
gonna
hilarious.
sit again.
I love
Wasted
it.
chair that I've been sitting. That's cool, man. I'm excited to see all of that.
Thank you. Yeah, and
Now-
I'll be doing like talking more dating romance stuff too, because I think that's definitely
Oh.
a place where humanity needs healing.
Are you gonna do like a Dr.
Like
Love?
how? What do you mean? Why do you think
A
we need
Dr. Love.
healing?
This is Nick Brannigan. We're drinking our Cavassier.
Maybe a little cannabis.
There you go.
Cannabis. I
You
think
guys.
with the age of Tinder,
Oh, dear God.
I have a lot of concern for the young men coming up.
My
in
cousin
these
wrote the
days
Tinder
and age.
song.
There's a Tinder song?
There's a Tinder jingle. Yeah, my cousin wrote that. When you go on Tinder, the song that plays, my cousin wrote it.
Oh, really?
True
Yeah,
story.
True story. He works.
And
he,
he's black.
He works at Tinder. Yeah, my black
Nice.
my
I
black
like to
cousin
say that
wrote.
'cause it's
Yeah,
fun.
And he's
yeah.
black.
Yeah.
He wrote the Tinder song. He works there. He's their production guy, and that's
Oh,
his
cool.
song. Yeah.
Tim
Wow.
Hardy.
That's awesome.
He's awesome.
I used Tinder for about 4 hours, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Oh,
Deleted
yeah.
the app and never turned back. But I have a lot of concern.
Not into gangbangs, huh?
No, I don't like, I'm not into ingenuine interactions, and I'm not into
Yeah, I'm over it too.
trying to convince someone who I've never met in person via texting that they should meet me. Like, fuck
Yeah.
that shit.
Right.
We were gonna get
Right.
me and my wife were gonna get eHarmony accounts and see if it matched us.
Oh, really?
We
That's
never
a
did.
terrible
We never
idea.
did it though.
That
Yeah.
is a terrible idea, right? That's what
That's
I
why we
said.
never did it. What if they match somebody I like better?
Yeah. Wah, wah.
Well, here's the downhill.
Yeah.
Probably better you passed on that.
Yeah, it was just a joke. All right. Well,
Yeah, I don't know what else.
Good stuff.
no, I think
Appreciate
this
you
was.
guys,
Thank you so much. This went better than I ever expected. So thank you so much. You're welcome on here anytime you just want to be on. We're trying to do every Saturday, so
Yeah.
roll true.
And you know
Yeah,
what?
let's do it
too,
again
Nick,
sometime.
I wanted to have an interview with you, not an interview necessarily, but there's a video, the greatest speech or something like
Mhm.
that.
Scary Yorovsky.
Yeah.
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 So, and we heard about it at
At that panel, that vegan panel.
the vegan panel that we went to at
Yeah,
Veg
the-
Nation. Or
No, it wasn't a
Veg
vegan.
Nation.
Violence vegan.
Violet's vegan. Yeah.
Was I there?
Yes.
You were on the panel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
Remember
cheese
that?
marketing panel.
Yes.
Maybe.
Let me cut that off there.
Yeah. No, that's good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, he's he doesn't do activism anymore. He's
Okay.
just a little burnt out from it.
Well, what? That's fine. Why? I mean, whatever.
No, here's what we want. We wanted to watch the video and then have a reaction show.
A
So,
reaction show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so-
Because you already know about it, but I've
Mhm.
purposely not allowed us to watch it because.
I don't know if I've seen it in full, because the first time I heard about it,
But you're already living it. We're not
yeah,
vegan.
that's why I didn't
That's
watch
what I'm
it.
saying, yeah.
And I was almost like a little, I guess I had a little ego, like, who the fuck's this guy? He's not gonna tell me anything about veganism.
Mhm.
Then as I kept saying his name coming up, and realized like he's really legendary with
making
his
change.
activism. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been out to Vegas twice. And he actually gave me his contacts at the colleges that he used to speak at, so I can
Oh,
kind of
cool. Contact them.
yeah fulfill that gap. But it just timing's not great for it right now.
Mm.
But yeah, we should sit down and watch that
It'd
and
be
react
fun,
to
right?
it. Yeah,
It'd
Yeah, it'd
be
be
fun.
most definitely.
We'll talk
Well, cool.
about our thoughts and ideas on meat, because you guys eat meat still. So
Yeah,
it'd be
I try
fun
to
for
eat
you guys to
80-20.
talk about why you're doing it, and
Hmm.
and then after we're done
Yeah.
watching this, we can go, oh.
You about to?
What is
You got a
our
lizard
opinion?
about to commit suicide. Oh, you rescued her. Well, with all that said, thank you if you listened, and you could find us at Everything Happy Earth Market on all social media, and share the hell out of this, and hey, let's make a
Yeah.
better place.
Yeah, and I'll go back to your speech a long time ago. I choose love.
Yeah, that's important. It's easy to forget.
Yeah,
So sometimes you got to remember. And
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yay. I love you, Nick.
I
Love you
too.
I'm
guys
so
too.
glad you're still
Yeah.
in our life. And
Hell yeah.
We're going
It's
to
been fun.
keep changing.
Yeah.
It's still changing, and we're going to keep
5 years later, here we are.
Yeah. Can I get you to do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you just say your name and that you're listening to Happy Earth Market podcast?
This is Nick Brannigan, and you are listening to the Happy Earth Market podcast.
Perfect.
Nice.
Thanks.
You cunts.
Cheers. I gotta do some saving.
Oh, that was nice.
Yay.
I don't have to join Scientology to drink that, do I? I don't have to join Scientology to drink that, do I?
Maybe.
I can't wait to hear where these conversations go tonight. Yeah.
How's your work ethic?
Yeah. Come here, I have to show you this video
Yeah.
real quick.
What's that little test that they do?
Thank you so much.
They make you hold these two sticks. And
Yeah, that's the ion test.
Oh, I
isn't
did
it?
that
Yeah, that
before.
one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
wow.
hilarious.
Well, this is already good. I'm keeping it. Let's just introduce ourselves.
Yeah. I'm Sam.
I'm Nathan,
I'm JR.
and at the table we have
Nick Brannigan.
Nick Brannigan. Who do you represent, if you want to say that?
The Church of Scientology.
Oh, awesome! Wow. Now we're screwed for sure. Tom
Yeah.
Cruise is gonna come get us.
He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, I didn't know that. You and Tom are
Good
besties.
friend.
I had no idea.
Good now.
I better not fuck with you. This will be a very polite conversation.
This being Happy Earth Market Podcast you're
Yes.
listening to.
Happy Earth Market podcast. We need a jingle, like you said.
Yeah, that's going out. FYI, guys who are listening and girls, we are in the look for a jingle before this podcast episode. As you know, we don't have anything. I mean, we put up our video that's stolen from the internet. We just got done discussing how that's illegal and stuff, and a pain in the butt to keep up with. So let's come up with our own stuff. Collaborate. Let's
Can we do like a
create
death
something.
metal version? Happy Earth Market.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking, with all the different talents that show up for our open mics here at Happy Earth Market, 900 Karen Avenue, Suite D102.
We have an address.
Yeah, we do.
East.
Plugging the business is strange on the podcast.
It is odd,
anyway,
right?
Never done that before. Felt weird. Anyway, yeah, that's every Friday, and I think all the artists that are coming on stage and doing their little performings and writing, oh my gosh, and the ciphering, I know what that means.
Yeah, you learned a new word.
I even know how to do it, sort of.
Bumblebee.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're gonna be invited to the BET Awards cipher. Like, oh, it's Sam up there.
But for reals, guys, we need to come up with something. Let's
And you don't even have to be
do
that
it.
good to be on the BET cipher.
No, apparently not. Apparently you can just mumble rap now.
Or you get those machines that do it for you. The
auto-
robot machine
the auto
thing.
tunes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And your
Yeah.
T-Pain microphone.
Anybody can use those.
T-Pain microphone.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so that call out's out there, guys. So
Yeah, we need a jingle.
Yeah, let's talk about it on open mic. Let's talk about it, bring it up. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So with that, Nick.
Welcome.
Nick.
Thank you.
Brother Nick.
Happy to be here. I'm happy to be here early in 2018.
Yeah, totally. You're our first guest of 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
I think that's very fitting.
And you, like, I wanted to have a solid guest for this one because we were supposed to, and that got pushed out a couple weeks. We were supposed to have the chief of the Western Shoshone tribe on tonight. So to me, that's the chief, like the guy. And so I'm like, oh, I need somebody else with really good caliber. So I'm really happy you decided to take
I'm
this.
honored. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. We've known you for a long time.
Yeah. When did we meet you?
2013.
Whoa.
Did you look it up before coming
No,
here?
was it? Well, no, I was dating the.
So confident.
No, Was it 2013? Because I was the first March Against
hard
Monsanto
telling.
was 2013, but I forgot that I met you guys before.
Yeah.
I met everybody
Yeah.
else.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Before the GMO-free Vegas group,
Oh,
like
yeah,
we were
yeah.
already talking.
GMO-free Nevada.
That's
is where
right.
Who
we
was
met.
it? It was
Us,
through
Nick, and
Kiki,
Nikki.
Corbin.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think she introduced us, maybe.
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe. Oh, Kiki, that's right. I forgot all about that name. We had to separate
Because
from
we
that.
started it.
Yeah.
It was me,
Okay.
you, and Nikki, and
Kiki.
Kiki wasn't there at the first meet.
Oh, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't physically there with us. There was somebody else here with us, and I don't remember who.
Yeah.
But
a couple people not around anymore.
yeah.
No.
But you actually called into my radio show
Mhm.
back when it was like still a baby.
That's right.
I
That was
forgot
your
about
radio
that.
show?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
I forgot
hilarious.
about that.
She was so nervous. That was the funniest. Her palms were sweating, and she was so. What am I gonna say? I'm like, Sam, just talk about this. Your
Dude,
path.
and then like Grow Your Own Zen Honeycut sitting there interviewing me. I'm like, holy shit. Oh, wow. How time changed and growth has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was
very
like
cool.
what was the lady
Yeah.
up north that we were working with?
Kiki.
Was the lady that was a lady from
Yeah.
Reno?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kiki
Oh, okay,
Corbin.
then I'm not thinking of the same person we had to cut ties with. She's still super cool. It was there was some
I know
lady
who
here.
you're
There's some
talking
lady
about.
here in town, but yeah, and you like volunteered to do it. She's like, you want to be the secretary of Southern Nevada? You're like, sure.
Yeah, it was weird. It was fun though. I'm glad I did it though, because wow, going through that,
Mm-hmm.
being a part of something that was bigger than me, that was trying to do something that I was on board with, was like cool. I've never done that before.
Yeah.
Let's try it. I got some free time. Sure, I'll
Yeah.
volunteer some hours and try
Because you
this.
believed in it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I believed in it because I was living it. My
Yeah,
son
totally.
was healed
Yeah.
with organic food. I mean, it
Go
was
figure.
this people have to know about this.
Yeah.
It's important to know about
From
it.
7
so-
allergy medicines to 0 with
Yeah.
just organic food.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Well, no, it's
No,
believable.
not, but it
Yeah.
is unbelievable, right? I mean, when at the time it was like, I can't believe this is it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
know?
it's the food?
Yeah.
Yeah, all those pesticides and herbicides, they're messing up people's system. Who would have thought?
Right.
Totally.
Like, wow.
Well, I didn't even know.
Right.
That's
Didn't
the
see
thing.
that coming.
You remember that? Remember when we all first started and people were like, "What's GMO?" Like
Yeah.
nobody knew.
People were clueless.
I
Your
was-
pamphlet, dude, that PDF you made. I still have
Which one?
it.
Oh, the ebook?
Yeah.
Oh, can you send that to me?
Yeah, I still have it somewhere. I'll find it. Yeah.
That was the first thing I ever did.
What was it?
It was beautiful.
It was called I'm Eating What,
Mm-hmm.
and it just broke down the basics of GMOs.
Oh.
And I think most of it is pretty relevant today for the
Still
most
is,
part.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it was really simple and easy facts, and
Yeah,
it
not
was
too much has
nice.
changed. Like little things have changed, but
Mhm.
Like what?
the potatoes and apples where they silence genes now
Mhm.
versus actually putting foreign DNA in them.
okay.
So it's been, the progress is far. Like GMOs are still in the market,
Mhm.
but the awareness and the stopping of more GMOs for the most part has kind of there's been an effect in a positive
Absolutely.
way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
I would call it an accomplishment.
Mhm.
I think so, because it affected change,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not doing it the same.
No.
That affected.
from no
and it's
organic food
cool.
everywhere.
It's really
Sure.
cool.
From no organic food anywhere to, like you said, orange juice in 7-Eleven.
It blows my mind, man.
Yeah.
And I use that as an example because we have so many 7-Elevens. But the fact that you can go to 7-Eleven and you go into their little cooler and you can see a 7-Eleven branded
Organic
label.
Oh, it's their own brand.
Yeah,
USDA
crazy, right?
Oh, that is
orange and
yeah.
apple juice
Mhm.
and other snacks, and I'm just like, that is change.
So what?
That is
for sure.
change. That's in low income neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's in all income neighborhoods.
You know what I mean? And that's the whole point, is getting this food, getting it to the people who need it, which is
Mhm.
everybody, not just the rich, but all of us.
All of us,
right?
yeah. That's the
and-
goal.
Yeah. So
So what got you into to the GMO movement in the first
Tell
place?
us.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Let me think.
start at the beginning, because
The-
it's a
the-
long story, I'm sure.
Yeah, the very beginning was being about 27 years of age, being a bit overweight, knowing 30 was coming up, and I
Mhm.
wanted to be healthy by 30. So it just kind of came into research when I started researching how to be fit, how to be healthy. No, that's a lie. Never mind. Let me rewind a little bit. So it came up in that same time period. I was actually working a security job, graveyard shift, and I was in this little booth, like letting cars come through. And I used to listen to Coast AM and Rent's Radio,
Mhm.
Jeff Rent's, and they both had Jeffrey Smith on as guest at the same night. I think one of the shows was a day late.
Mhm.
So I started listening, just paying attention to what he talked about, and he was just saying, there's this GMO, it's a problem. What's going on? Real quick, what's the language policy on this show?
This is completely uncensored.
Okay.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, whatever you want to say, dude.
Okay.
Literally anything you want.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cunt. Okay.
Too far. Never mind. You gotta
Glad
go.
that's out of the way.
I would have had a headache if I didn't get
Accept
that out.
that word.
Yes, I heard Jeffrey Smith on the radio, and I really paid attention to the ingredients. He was saying corn, soy, canola. So at this point, I already switched my thinking towards let's be healthier. So I would start buying my food. I think I shopped at Walmart at the time. And I would like, what? Corn, soy, canola. Okay. Let me look at this item. Corn, soy. Like, this shit's in everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, my daughter was about 1 at the time, maybe 1 going on 2. So I started paying attention, but I did my own research. And I actually started reading scientific studies, like something I never would have done before.
Yeah,
and it was always the comparison. It was the the animal, and I'm clearly against animal testing or whatever. But the rats or whoever they were feeding were being fed GMO corn and soy versus non-GMO corn and soy. There's always issues with the GMO group. So I said, okay, there's something to it.
Right.
And I just kind of kept up on the research and finally started picking up packages. And I did it one ingredient at a time. So I was like, okay, this month, no more high fructose corn syrup. Then the next month, it was nothing with soy in it. And the next month, it was nothing with any other corn product.
So you did like a phased approach.
Yeah. Slowly but surely phase it out. And I went vegetarian at the same time as well.
Right.
And next thing I know, I went from, I was 200 pounds and got all the way down to 140.
Oh, wow. That's skinny for you.
Yeah. I look like a crackhead. But I was happy.
Yeah.
The last 5 pounds was
Crackheads are
colonic.
typically pretty happy. I mean, you may not
They
know
are.
it from, but
You get to smoke crack all day. Yeah, of course you're happy.
It's a great weight loss program.
Yeah. You can lose a lot of weight doing crack.
Next to AIDS.
That's not the program I recommend, though.
I'm just laughing that he slipped in the last 5 for colonic. That's funny.
It was true. I literally weighed myself. I was 145. I got a colonic. I was 140. I went to work
Crazy.
that night.
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
You think about that.
It's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's
60,
a lot of
60 pounds, right? And
and
then 5 pounds of shit at the end.
I was at work all night holding up my belt. I had to go buy a new belt that night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts to see all that weight come off. And then over time, I gained it all back. But then even recently,
Not all of it. You're
well,
not,
even recently, I was 200 pounds. And
Okay.
then,
But you look healthy still, though.
wow.
well, I'm 175 now.
Okay.
To save money, I started eating mostly. So I think I probably ate 60% or so healthy, then another 40% processed food, and I changed it to almost all whole foods from scratch. And then I didn't look in the mirror and think I was losing weight, but people started saying, "Bang, you're getting skinny. What are you doing? What are you doing?" Then I weighed myself, and I was like, "Oh, I lost about 25 pounds."
Oh, wow. That's
Just from
significant.
eating probably 80-90% whole foods from
Wow.
scratch.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was the beginning of the story. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I'm just curious. So what got you into the movement then? Like so obviously you're not like, oh, there's just GMO thing, and now I'm in the movement. What got you into the movement?
Man, I just felt like Jeffrey Smith always said, like, he's like, we need you. We need you. We can't do everything. Like, we're doing the best we can, but we need you. And I had to hear it like so many times
Right.
before I was like, man, maybe I should do something. I got a little girl. Like, is it cool that I'm changing our diets, but I'm not really doing anything? And that's where that ebook came from. Because I wanted to write this whole book on it, but like, what would I know about writing a book? Back then, at least.
Well, that ebook helped me.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Like,
Glad to
no,
hear.
because that night we had that meeting with the GMO Nevada group. You said, here's the ebook. You sent it to me that night or the next day or whatever, and I read it and I was like, oh, click, click. Like, literally, that's what the click was. You know, it just made sense what was happening, and because the way you wrote it was very clicky. I don't know what the right word is, but it clicked.
Yeah, well, I wrote it like I wanted to get it printed out like as a pamphlet because originally, like, that was the idea, write a book. But I know most of the people I know at the time, like, hey, here's a book, it's 200 pages.
What
Yeah.
is that?
I'll get right on that.
When I
yeah,
have
sure,
time
buddy.
after adulting and building things.
In my Facebook break.
Yeah, so I wrote something smaller that anyone could understand, and I
Right.
started calling all
That's
these
good.
organic